and welcome to Clash Masters. It is a great honor to be invited to cast this event. My name's Woody, and I am here with the formidable Itsu. How are you doing today, my friend?
I'm super fine. Yet again, we have so many good matchups today. But before we're jumping into all of this, we have to take a look at the format. How did those teams make it so far in this competition? And since we have already qualifier number 3 in our hands, we should actually take a look at how this tournament is structured. So we have 4 weeks of competition. As I just mentioned, we are right now in week number 3, which means it's the Open Qualifier number 3. It's 3 match days a week, which means it's day number 1, 2, and 3. Broadcast is going to be on day 2 and 3 of those days. And right now we are on day number 2 of week 3. All of this sounds pretty complicated. It is not really, because we are just in qualifier number 3, as I said, and teams are still collecting points. Those points are going to be important later on to move into the playoffs. And this is the last qualifier where you can collect those points, so they are extra super duper important. So let's see which teams can somehow make this. So I think before we keep moving forward, we should take a look at the pricing as well, Woody, because for those teams, there's a lot on the line.
Right, you are, Itsu. Clash Masters is the grandest, largest, biggest prize pool open Clash of Clans event in the world, with a $20,000 prize pool for any entrant in the community. No previous qualification necessary. Show up to the event and you are good to go. But can you go toe-to-toe with some of the best in the world? We have already seen previously Worlds qualified teams make it to the top, so this event is certainly attracting a lot of attention. The qualifiers themselves each week have got a $1,500 first place prize, $750 for second place as finalists, and as you can see, the prizes are still quite generous going down through the quarterfinalists. So all of the 8 teams competing today are in the money already, but it's those points for the grand finals, the playoffs, which will be taking place in a couple of weeks, that they have really got their eyes on. They want to be among the top 4 teams in terms of total points scored in order to guarantee placement to the playoffs for that event in a couple of weeks. If they don't get to the top 4 teams, though, next week will be the last chance qualifier where the top 4 ranked teams will get an automatic berth to advance.
Yeah, that's right. And there's each week an MVP as well, which is getting named. And last week we had a player we all know. We had Dragon. And White Dragon being the MVP with a crazy hit rate and an average time of 2 minutes and 13 seconds. That's quite quick overall. But coming from the MVP, I think we should move forward into the next category, which is the leaderboards. As we mentioned, those teams are competing to get and collect points over those qualifiers. Those top 4 at the end of week 3, which we are in right now, is going to get to the playoffs. So let's take a look at the leaderboards and let's see which teams are going into this week with pretty good points. We have Space Station on the rank 1 seat right now. We have Nishang Dance on the 2nd seat, MCS and Queen Walkers. And one important thing to note, Space Station and MCS won't be in today's bracket, which means they can't increase their points anymore. On the other hand, Nishang Dance, Queen Walkers, HD Family, Alternate, all of them are still in this competition, which means they can increase their points. Depending on how much they increase it, well, that's depending on the seeding of MCS and Space Station. So it's going to be super important, those matches today, to see which teams are going to move forward into the playoffs. And that's, as you said, Woody, that's the important thing, what those teams are looking for.
Right, you are, Itsu. There's 3 weeks of this preliminary competition to jostle on that leaderboard, but there's a lot of points up for grabs for first place. We're going to be awarding 15 leaderboard points for the first place team at the end of this weekend's competition. 12 points for second, 10 for third, 8 for fourth, and 6th just for making it to the quarterfinals. So that means that the teams that have already advanced, the 8 that are advancing and competing today, have already earned points for that competition. HT Family moving on, Queen Walkers earning more points, Alternate Attacks. Even though these aren't teams that are at the top of the leaderboard just right now, they are guaranteed to score more and maybe ensure their placement at the playoffs.
Yeah, those matches are going to be super important for these teams. Not the prize money only, but as well like getting those points. It is such an important thing. And then one more thing as well with the last chance qualifier is you can just sign up. I think already for the next week. So get in there, try our best, and the top 4 in there are going to have a chance of getting into the playoffs as well.
That's right. Open qualification. The past 3 weeks are brutal and grueling events. Very fun to watch, but difficult to climb to the top. However, next week, all 4 spots for the Open Qualifier are up for grabs. It is the last chance event. We hope that you've enjoyed watching the past couple of weeks and will be inspired further by the events of today. Enter your clan and see if you've got what it takes to make it to the top. A $5,000 prize for first place in the playoffs in just a couple of short weeks. It's yours for the taking.
That's right. But now, finally, let's take a look at the bracket, at the matches which are going to take a look today and how those teams made it into this stage. We have the quarterfinals on our left. We have SkyStars versus VN Champions. On this one, we had we have this match first. Then after that, we have Queen Walkers against HT Family, followed by Nishang Dance versus KOG, and then RTK versus Alternate, which they just scored a perfect war with Alternate. I think so far Alternate is holding the record of having the most perfect wars in this competition. So they're hungry after not being in the second qualifier. They really want to get those points in because they need them, to be honest, to get into the top 4.
Yeah, they certainly do. You can get 15 points from first place, but since SkyStars and VN Champions haven't scored yet and aren't on the leaderboard, they really do need a top placement to even contend. And it's possible that with strong performances from the teams that are already at the top, this is going to be a real uphill battle for them. But as you also mentioned, we have also got teams that have scored lots and are going to be going up against each other. Queen Walkers and HT Family are just neck and neck on that leaderboard. 15 points for Queen Walkers and 14 for HT Family. They are both strong contenders, but the second match today may be decisive in determining which one advances and which one will have to have their hopes held out for the last chance qualifier next week.
Yeah, I agree, like 100%. Like this second match is going to be incredibly important for both teams. Depending on how many points they can achieve, they both can maybe even make it into the top 4. So this might be a super important match to take a look at. And yeah, I mean, Queen Walkers, HG Family, it's 2 incredible teams. So either way, for us as viewers as well, it's just going to be cool to watch and see what they're coming up with. But as well, the match I think we're all looking for as well is going to be Alternate facing off against RTK, just because we want to see if Alternate can actually get those points to like push forward into the top 4. Like this is the goal for sure. This is the goal which they set themselves, and if they can accomplish that, we're going to find out today and see if they're going to be able to move into the next round.
Right you are, Itsu. Alternate Attacks managed to get second place in the first week's competition, but didn't pick up any qualification points in week 2. That leaves them with 12 points. A strong finishing that has them in the top 8, but not guaranteeing advancement. They really do want to pick up another 10 at least by going on to the semifinals with a victory in their first round today if they want to have a solid shot at making it to the playoffs without having to go to that last chance qualifier. RTK, on the other hand, an upstart squad with 0 points to their name, are trying to upseat a Worlds qualified team and really make a name for themselves. They're going to have their work cut out for them, though, as Alternate Attacks has already scored a perfect war today with a 15-star victory in round 1.
Yeah, but I think we should get ready for the first match, which we're going to take a look at, which is going to be SkyStars versus VN Champions. Both of them already had a match earlier today. SkyStars had to face off against Jake's Tiger, a really familiar name in the competitive scene. They won that one 14-13. And the surprising thing is even the second match, which is MKMA versus VN Champions, they played as well, 14-13, but this time around VN Champions came away. So both teams scoring 14 stars coming into this matchup. It's going to be interesting to see if they're able to defend their enemies, defending their strategies. We know VN Champions typically likes to run the air. So let's see if they are going to do it yet again, or if they're going to mix it up to maybe surprise their enemies, because or sometimes it's better to somehow like get some off-meta strategies in there as well and try to completely catch your enemy off guard base building wise. This should be an interesting first match, Woody.
Yeah, it certainly will. The more flexible your base building defenders are, the more likely you are to be able to frustrate a team that has a reputation for preferring one style of attack. Sky Stars got that great victory over JX Tiger, but I also want to give them credit for a victory that they had yesterday, a 14-12 result over Space Station, another big name in the Clash and esports broader community. Congratulations to them are certainly due, but VN Champions, in my mind, might be the more formidable foe. They are the self-proclaimed #1 Vietnamese clan, and I think that they've got a right to claim that title. They picked up a victory today, as you noted, over MKMA, and also found victories over Team EXP and a perfect war, 15-14, over the NJT Legends just yesterday.
Yeah, both teams already were able to beat some really big names out there. I think Space Station being the biggest out of them. Like, they are right now the #1 seed in this qualifier leaderboard. So this is already something. And I mean, they were doing that in style. Like, they were putting up incredible results. So looking forward to see the team playing, which beat them, as you said, 14-12. That's not easy. Holding back Space Station to 12 stars, that's not an easy task. We saw them getting a lot of high score matches just recently. But hey, we're in. We have the first attack live. Sky Stars is going in with an air hybrid, which is going to be Dragon Riders and those Inferno Dragons. One of the most powerful air strategies right now. And it can be sometimes frustrating to build against. So let's see how he's going to approach this base. We can figure out the expo settings really quick. We have 4 expos set to air, actually, I feel like. So this is going to be interesting to see how those dragons are going to handle all of this damage.
Air expos. I'm also taking a look at the air defenses. You can see them kind of staggered, one near the town hall at the bottom, another 2 at the 12 and 3 o'clock positions, but there's one that's somewhat vulnerable at the 11 o'clock position. It's going to be an easy early target for these Inferno Dragons and balloons floating on in with support from the Grand Warden soaring in up top. They'll get an easy stab early on at the Eagle Artillery and are going to have a long march toward the bottom town hall. 3 stars in the mine for Michael Snipes. These teams both have an average of 14 stars from all of their previous wars, so they are really minding that opportunity to get a perfect war. It is certainly by no means easy. Holding on to his battle blimp for the second stage of this attack. Where is he gonna put it in? There it goes, Itsu.
Yeah, we need to follow it for sure to see if he's catching that NATO trap, which at this point might be a little bit threatening, because if the blimp is not reaching his target, there's the first black mine. Blimp is taking damage. Is there going to be the NATO? That's the question. He's opening that early. It seems like, wait a second, he did not make it into the compartment, and it seems like there are goblins in there, which means the town hall might not go down.
A terrifying result, but I think he's got the hero power on that bottom side to get the job done. He's going to have to crack through these walls, taking an awful long time, but he has managed to do it. Unfortunately for him, though, his air superiority has dwindled, and he is struggling to make his way through this last compartment. He still has an Archer Queen and a single target Inferno to face down, dropping skeleton spells to try to keep it distracted, but he is on his last legs. Royal Champion makes a valiant stab for that Inferno Tower, and it is knocked apart, but this right side compartment is looking deadly. A scatter shot facing down the few remaining troops, and just one free spell to add on here. This is looking like a 2-star in the mid-80%, just trying to eke out a little bit more damage from this Archer Queen. She's going to find her match on the other side. Inferno Dragon seeking to get another stab or 2 over here, where the poor little pathetic unicorn doing its best. We do wind up in the end with 2 stars and 79% from Michael Snipes.
Yeah, that's a really strong defense already from the beginning. Like typically we see those maybe high 90% two-star attacks and consider them being a fail. But this with the 79%, that is not a lot of percentage, which means it's a really good defense right there. And it's a big question mark to me why you're going in with like a full army, like air army composition onto a base, which is surprisingly running those 4 air expos. Yes, air expos just recently got this small buff. But was this already that much that you could use like 4 air expos? Not sure. Either way, going into that with an entirety of an air strategy is a big question mark to me. And the defense is holding strong. So really good job to the base builder. And now it's going to be interesting to see if they can make that work on the other side. Like if you're getting a good defense, you need to make that work on offense now to get actually the lead. If you're only like doing the similar style attack and getting the same results, you're not getting any leads, so it's not worth anything pretty much. So let's see if they can make this OP defense count and push a lead early on, because this was one of the most important things the last qualifier. Teams which get an early lead most of the time just dominated the match.
It's also easy to kind of mind game yourself out of those aerial attacks. You find so many targets that are high priority and never really get the concentrated fire that you need on those key defenses, which in my mind are still the air defenses. There was still one standing up over on the right side corner, and that speaks to me the lack of firepower in taking out those key structures early on. Pianu is going to try to avoid that same problem here as he's charging in the left corner, gets the CC pull, and will knock down one of the air defenses early on. He's going for a dive with these heroes. Sui into the corner to knock out as much as he can, and I think he's going to get pretty strong value from it. But is this Icehound Laloon going to go the distance? He has still got some centralized air defenses and 3 multi-target Infernos in the core, relatively spread. This is a scary base to go up against, Itsu.
Yeah, especially those core multi-Inferno towers is not something which is easy to handle with the Lalo. But at the same time, I think this is a pretty well-known base, so maybe they know exactly on how to approach this, going in with those Icehounds. You can see the Icehounds can perfectly tank with their freeze the defending Royal Champion, so he doesn't have to invest too much in taking those down. But at the same time, having a triple multi-Inferno tower in the core of this base, this can be deadly. Yet again, there's the Blimp. This Blimp needs to reach its target. Is there the NATO? That's the big question. There's the Rage. There's the Rage, but there's the NATO as well, triggering and holding back the Blimp. Can he take down the Town Hall? The Loons are coming closer. Another freeze towards the Town Hall. But the Town Hall is defending this base and it's trying its best. The Sweeper at the top side is pushing those Loons away from the Town Hall. He has no chance to save this. And Woody, this is not looking good at all for Pinoy.
Devastation for Pianu. He has lost the attack on the top and on the left. That multi-target Inferno standing throughout, burnt up so many balloons. Dragon finally gets to it, but can't even take it down. Support from the Expo, all targeting the air, was too much for him to handle. And off of an impressive defense from the BN champions, they are flat on their heels now, unable to even grab the second star against this base. Sky Stars is going to be soaring high after this. What an impressive defensive pickup for them. A 2-1 start for this battle. Really great base building from both teams so far, but that really leaves us hoping for an attack that can go the distance.
Yeah, that's a big surprise. I mean, we saw the results which those teams put up so far in this competition, and you said both teams had an average of 14 stars, and the first couple of attacks are looking pretty surprising considering how they did so far in the tournament. This base holding strong, getting the defense, even a 1-star defense. And I was talking about, like, if you're getting a good defense, you need to make that count. They had a pretty good defense, which was like a 79% 2-star, but they were able to, like, get an even, worse offensive attack, which is not the goal, obviously. So that is a frustrating start right there. At the same time, it's only a 1-star difference, considering that one team is starting with 2 stars, the other with 3. It's pretty much the same thing, just like with each like 1-star less, but at the same time, it's only 1-star difference in the beginning.
You're right. It's just a 1-star difference, but it really speaks a lot to me that they were trying to get that stab for the top, but they couldn't even take the town hall down. So in effect, we could think of this as if it were like the Sky Stars got a triple and then VN Champions just backed up with a 2-star of their own. But maybe that's giving a little bit too much credit to the offensive capabilities of these teams relative to the defensive powers that we were talking about before this match began. Expecting attacks from the air, these base builders have done incredible work spreading out to the very corners of the map, sacrificing mortars and cannons, as you see on this base from High Tran, in order to better protect the air defenses. Divided throughout the base in a diamond pattern, keeping those multi-target infernos spread out so that you can't get easy value targeting both of them at the same time. But AAA is not going to risk it at all on this town hall. He is going in for an early strike since in the battle blip, and he will get the damage in quick and early, although is he going to finish it off? There they go. Goblins get their connection in there and knock it down for the first star.
Yeah, the Town Hall Blimp always looks risky in the beginning. Like, you can't see those sneaky goblins hiding behind the Town Hall. Then, like from 1 second to the another, just Town Hall disappears by the damage from the sneaky goblins. But another thing which I really want to highlight yet again are those expo settings. We just saw a huge shift, I feel like, in the meta with those expos. Yet again, 4 air expos. So let's see how those Queen Charge attacks are dealing with those expos, because the Queen Charge itself obviously is having a great impact with that, because it's less damage on the Queen. The Lalo part still suffers from those settings. So let's see how he's going to be able to push through all of this. He's already starting with the funnel, getting his Queen into the compartment. Nice rage to keep her up. And then the King is getting pushed inside the defending multi-inferno tower compartment. And this charge so far looks great, because he should be able to take down both defending air heroes and those sweepers. Considering that he's doing a Queen Charge Lalo, this entry already looks really promising.
It's a great entry, but keep an eye on the time. We're already over halfway through this battle, and the balloons are still waiting in the army camp. I'm worried about whether or not he's going to get enough value from this early stab to justify that late deployment, because he is going to have to really go the distance here with 60% of the base still standing and a minute 14 left to finish it off. That is a big ask from these balloons. They are raged up and are on target as quick as they can, about to knock down this Eagle artillery and making their way toward the back, where there's still a scatter shot up, now locked onto the Queen, so fortunately that's not going to be splash damage on the balloons unless she wanders out of range, but that is going to be a long way to go with still a multi-target Inferno. I'm seeing air defenses and wizard towers. A 3-star is going to be a big ask for this attack.
Yeah, but at the same time, he still has the Warden ability left, he has the Royal Champion ability left, and we know how powerful those heroes can be. With 1 rage left as well, he can use that just easily for his Lalo part. Yeah.
When's he going to use the
Does he know?
The Grand Warden ability.
And the Royal...
It's almost like a swag ability at this point.
He's really trying to force this swag. It feels like knowing that it's already enough, maybe, or something.
Rage!
But this should be.
Go! Oh my
He's
God,
already swagging it. He already knows it's going to be a 3-star. What is going on? But okay, we were a little bit afraid, I want to say, about the outcome of this attack. But apparently, he exactly knew what he was doing, trying to swag Warden and Rage and everything. I would have been a little bit scared, to be honest, in this position, but I guess he is making it work, getting the 3-star in. And the big question, which I said it from the beginning, is it worth putting all of the expos to air? Not sure yet, to be honest. At least versus the Queen Charge Lalo, it did not pay off. So really good attack to, get the first 3-star in this match. And that's something important we have to consider. This was the first 3-star in this matchup so far. So let's see if they can follow it up. Otherwise, the difference in between of those two teams are going to be maybe too big to come back from later on.
I'm feeling a bit exasperated and a little terrified, having just seen a 1-star attack, but I gotta hand it to him. He got the job done. The very first triple in fantastic fashion, basically swagging a Grand Warden ability there toward the end with so much additional firepower. He was running low on time, but he had it down to the wire. Let's give Jack his due, though, because he is coming in with incredible rapidity. It is a lightning fast attack. Blitzkrieg straight in the gut of this base. We are only 40 seconds in, and we have the 2 stars already claimed with this mass drag attack. Itsu, what is happening?
There is so many dragons and dragon riders just flying across the base, but at the same time, those backhand air defenses, they might be a big threat to those dragons. The Royal Champion, the King, Queen, everything. Still with their abilities, at this point the Royal Champion ability had to be used. But the dragons are still going strong, and as long as this last Ground Expo can't do a miracle run of taking down all of those heroes, it is going to be impossible to defend that. And Jack, being one of the best air attack, like I want to say air spammer, I don't know how to name this, but either way, one of the best dragon hybrid attackers out there, and he is getting it done, getting the 3-star yet again, swagging early. And those two teams from a surprising start are coming back to their normal form and doing an incredible job of getting in the back-to-back 3-star for us to watch. And this is, for sure, being the 3-star with the swag freeze and the swag queen ability on the other side as well.
Jacko3 is 3 for 3, and that was one of the quickest triples that we have seen in all of Clash Masters' short history so far. Congratulations to Jack pulling back, and that is going to be an opportunity to bring this war a little bit closer again. It's just a 1-star advantage right now for Sky Stars at the 5-4 mark. So what seemed to start out with big defensive pickups is now turning completely on its head to offensive wins for both teams. The advantage for Sky Stars moving into the mid game now, as we'll start our third attack shortly, and climbing up on that offensive count closer to the 14-star average that we had seen before, but not likely to hit it this time. So I think we're more likely to see 13-star victory out of this match today.
Yeah, I think we have to consider that this match is way closer than it looks, because even though, yes, we have the 1-star difference, but at the same time, if the 1-star is flipping around and it's going to be a tie, percentage-wise, we see the other team on top. So this means there's even less of an advantage right now, because only 1-star is the difference between of a loss and a win for both of those teams. So let's see how the next couple of attacks are turning out, because this match is so incredibly close. Even though we saw the 1-star in the beginning, which is a big surprise, seeing that obviously, but since it was at least a high percentage 1-star, which sounds strange to say, but at least it was a high percentage 1-star, which might be actually still like a good impact, or like still a chance for the rest of the match. But yeah, let's see if they can come back somehow from this deficit in the beginning.
Yeah, the 1%, high percentage 1-star seems a bit unusual in competitive play, but I feel like I see it all the time when I'm up on ladder. I wind up getting these 99% 1-stars, and I'm just like, what went wrong with this attack? Unfortunately, for these guys who have a bit more time to plan and prepare, I think that they've come to expect a higher star total, but you've made a great observation. It's just a 4% advantage, though, for the VN champions, and that seems like a lot for the end of the war, but at the beginning of the war, when there's only been 2 attacks for each team, it's certainly something that Sky Stars could still come back over the top and overcome. I'm glad to see the Party Wizard is going to be rocking it out here, though, for some cleanup support on Shadow's attack. He's still going to be keeping to the skies, but with 5 Dragon Riders and 5 healers, it's going to be a bit more of a concentrated blow. I'm noting that there are 4 Headhunters in this army comp, so he's looking possibly for an opportunity to dive a bit deeper on a side opposite to where the heroes are going, maybe to go for that Indy Royal Champion or the Archer Queen perhaps later on.
I guess he's going to do the entry which I uploaded yesterday on YouTube, to be honest, because this is one of those high legend bases which are quite common, and one thing which you like to do is charging in those compartments next to the town hall, and then later on wall break the king into the town hall or into the flanking Inferno Tower, one of those. So far it looks like he's going to wall break the king later on into the town hall compartment behind the queen as soon as the healers are out of range, out of danger. So this is what it looks like, so far. He's waiting for the clan cast to come out, so the clan cast not locking onto the king, and then going to be using the Dragon Riders to finish off the base. There's the wall break for the town hall, as I said, getting the town out of the way with that king, and then the Dragon Riders from the right side. Still questioning if he's going to use the Royal Champion on the left side. Okay, he's exactly doing the entry, which is like quite common. So that's funny to see. And let's see, the main thing is, okay, he's starting off from the different side with the Dragon Riders. So let's see if that's going to work, because he's going to go into the king, into the sweeper, which might be a little bit problematic. So let's see how that turns out.
Yeah, Royal Champion going 1-by-1 against Air Defense, Wizard Tower, a Builder side. This is like a perfect entry point for her. The Archer Queen is still looking quite strong in the middle, having got that trigonometry advantage over the scatter shot, avoiding that splash damage on the healers behind her. These balloons are very well positioned to help out the Dragon Riders for the maximum damage right out in front, soaking any Seeking Air Mines that might pop out and keeping them well protected with that Grand Warden. We've got 54 seconds for cleanup, and that looks like a very strong entry point here to me. I think Shadow has got a solid shot at the triple as he makes his way onto the final compartment here. He's doing his best to protect this wide spread out, and I think that he is going to get the job done, Itsu.
Yeah, that was a beautiful attack with the Queen Charge around the Town Hall, taking that out as well. And there are the swag freezes. Yeah, they like to swag apparently right now in this match, and I mean, so far worked out. So let's hope that it's not coming down to time. That might be a bit problematic then, but either way, so far after the problems in the beginning, both teams are doing a crazy job of a comeback.
The triple freeze in Viz swag. That's 4 spell capacity that he just dropped for free. What a way to send a message that these bases might seem scary, but he has got way more in his sleeve to throw at it than they can muster up in defense. So great on time. Excellent 3 stars there. Sky Stars with the advantage and pressing it further. You see now that overall damage average destruction is narrowing now to just a 0.5% advantage for VN Champions. Even with the triple, they're going to have their work cut out for them at the end game of this match. Sky Stars really cementing their lead right now. Certainly not one that VN Champions couldn't overcome, but it is a strong spot for Sky Stars.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, for VN Champions, they have to keep 3-starring and hoping for another defense. Even though, yes, they have the percentage lead, but at the end of the day, the stars are more important, so they have to get a defense to make this 1-star up, and which is not an easy thing to do in the current meta, obviously. So getting that defense and obviously on offense, 3-starring non-stop is the important thing. So let's see if they can somehow make this. It's not going to be an easy task at all. We have the next attack in, and we have another air attack with the Dragons and Dragon Riders with the Blimp for the tunnel, which looks kind of risky to me. Like, is there any Black Mass whatsoever or even a Tornado? No, it seems like it's not the case, and there's the Blizzard trying to take down this Town Hall. Let's see if that's going to work. The value looks great, like taking down the Town Hall, taking down the Expo, and really good pathing, so the Dragons and Dragon Riders can get started from either the top right or from the bottom right side.
Attacks all in the air. It truly is a sky of stars, and the VN Champions are happy to keep the battle soaring high above, but with those air targeting expos partially out of commission here. We see a couple set to ground. This could be a great base identification and an opportunity for the hybrid dragon combo to soar in for maximum effect, swooping in with a reverse clockwise position after already claiming that first star. This is a great entry point for Kyungtin Dung, and I think that he has got an excellent shot at the triple.
Yeah, the he's back covering all of those dragons, but there's the Lava Hound coming off the clan cast, which is really bad news for him. The Queen just barely lured that out, and this means now the Lava Hound has to be dealt with for those dragons, and the Dragon Rider in the core can take down the multi-inferno tower, but now it's all about those dragons pushing through the back end of the space. The Queen is, yeah, getting ready for the Warbreaker Queen skin, I guess, hopefully coming at some point, because she is really liking hitting those walls. Those dragons are keep pushing through, but there's on the backhand still this Expo on the scatter shot still keeps staying up and trying to dash out the damage.
This is going to be a real close one as we get toward the end here. Dragons splitting up in the mid game prevented them from being able to concentrate their fire. Traps triggering at all the wrong places for this attack, and yet he is still powering through, holding onto that Queen ability until the bitter end, and I think that he might just be able to pull it off after all. A really rapid attack here, not wasting any time, so there is no shortage of excitement in these dragon hits. And when it all comes down to it, that will be the triple that the VN champions were looking for. They are going to keep going toe-to-toe here, maintaining that average destruction advantage, and just going to be 1 star behind the Sky Stars squad. That is going to keep this war going toward the bitter end for a loss. Remember, this is a very important war for both squads, having 0 stars or 0 points so far on the leaderboard for qualification. They need to advance all the way to the end in order for their competition this week to matter for that leaderboard placement. So victory here is going to absolutely be crucial, and they are not going to let up any pressure. A 2.7% advantage now for VN champions. And like you mentioned, it's if they manage to keep that 3-star pressure up throughout the end, they have still got a chance to win it.
Yeah, I mean, defense is one thing, offense the other. So we keep seeing those 3 stars after a couple of messed up attacks in the beginning, or a good defense, I want to call them. Either really good defense over there, and at this point it's all about catching up, all about trying to force your enemy into the wrong decision, or like a small execution mistake to get the defense in. But so far, both teams are doing an incredible job of getting those 3 stars in. It's not going to be an easy task at all of coming back so far. VN champions are doing everything they have to do, but Sky Stars doing the same thing. So we have them live yet again, and we have the Queen Charge Lalo yet again versus this base. This time around, though, we have only 3 Expos set to air, and let's see if that might be the better decision, especially that those Queen Charges are typically working around the Town Hall. And having the Expo, which is covering this part of the base, being set to ground, might be a good choice. And there is the first blimp coming in to take down the scattered compartment with some Yetis with the rage, just to make sure that the pathing for his queen is set to get into that Town Hall compartment, or at least close to it, most likely into the single phone tower compartment.
Yeah, this is a good setup here for K. It looks like, though, when you spend your siege machine early, especially when it's a battle blimp like that, you really do have to attack on the same side of the Town Hall. Otherwise, you risk what we saw with the first attack from VN Champions earlier on, a terrifying 1-star. So expect to see the Law Loon coming in from the bottom corner. He's only brought 1 Lava Hound, so a lot of this attack is going to be front-loaded, taking down air defenses. You see the first one being finished off by the Archer Queen there. Another one in that Town Hall compartment. Should be easy pickings. So it's just going to be the 2 that are spread out along the top. Now, if he does manage to crack through this Town Hall with a Barbarian King, that gives him a little bit more of an open-ended approach, and being able to take out the 2 air defenses up at the top alongside that Eagle artillery and not have to worry about committing forces to the bottom will be a big leg up. So if that does indeed happen, I think he'll be quite pleased with the result. And it does seem to be that's the way it's shaping up. Itsu?
Yeah, he has 2 more wall breaks to get into the core of this base, and from this core he can reach everything. Both sweepers, the Mojang Inferno Tower, the defending queen, all of the Expos. Like, this Queen Charge so far looks incredible. The Lalo is starting from the top right into the Eagle to take that out, just to make sure that the Eagle has no chance whatsoever to take a huge group of those loons. The Royal Champ pushing everything in from the left side, and this Queen has a lot of damage on her. She can reach everything, but at the same time, everything can reach her as well, which is not always the best thing to happen right here.
The enemy Barbarian King saw her and started taking shots, but he just took a little retreat. And I've got to tell you, Itsu, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. That Archer Queen losing her Barbarian King, yet manages to stab all the way through the core of this base. She does go down, but KTM has got plenty of balloons for the back end, and with 49 seconds left, still holding on to a free spell. This looks like an open and shut case for the Sky Stars squad. Looking for another triple. They are not going to go back home empty-handed, ready to deliver another crushing blow to the defenses of VN Champions. Here it goes, and there it went. A 3-star performance.
Really clean Queen Charge. Like the blimp just into the Queen Charge, into the Single Inferno Tower, the Clan Castle timing, everything looked perfect right there. And obviously they are keep pushing their lead. They have the star lead, which means they have everything in their own hands. If they keep 3-starring like this, there is no chance for VN Champions to come back from. That's just not possible. So as long as they keep 3-starring, it's looking good for them. Obviously, VN Champion needs to do the same to somehow have a chance of staying inside this match. At the same time, the pressure game, especially considering you have the 1-star on your first attack, that's never a good sign, because typically the first base you're going to attack is the base where you say, okay, maybe I know this base how to attack this, so don't even waste any more time to plan on it. I already saw how to beat it, or like I have a really good plan on how to beat it. So 1-starring on this type of base is never a good sign towards the team, and obviously it might be some breaking point in the voice chat as well if those teams are planning together. Coming back from that is really impressive, so let's see if they can push this even further and get and collect more 3-stars to make this match even closer than it already is. And we have Tuan Tran coming in with another Queen George Dragon Rider attack, which are so powerful in the current meta.
VN Champions are really doing a great job with their offenses. Starting from the second attack, they have been able to drop plenty of swag spells on these bases, sending out hero abilities at seemingly random times, almost as if to send a message to Skystars that this is a war that will go the full distance. But time is running out for them. They are putting consistent 3-stars up in their second, third, and fourth hits, but they have got to keep that going all the way to the end and hope that they can get a defensive victory against the Skystars with their final attack. Now that we have seen 4 attacks from the Skystars and 11 stars total, VN Champions have got to have some trepidation, some fear, some concern about how this war is ending up. The shaping in these final hits is really not going in their favor. So will Tuan Tran have an opportunity to keep his team alive here? The Queen charging straight through, raged up, will get several of these multi-target Infernos down early on. As long as she can just avoid the CC and stay on task, Itsu.
Yeah, but this so far looks incredible. Really, really clean Queen George, getting the king to funnel all the left side, and now the Dragon Rides in from the right side, just to make sure that everything is finishing off on the bottom side of the space, so everything is working together really nicely. Good freeze to make sure everything is staying alive. And at this point, with the warden ability which he just used, that was such a good timing. Take a look at how many traps he is blocking. He's even blocking the eagle shots, and this is looking perfect. This base looks crushed. He has yet again another rage left. Hopefully he's using it. Yes, he is. I'm kind of happy about that, not seeing another swag rage at this point. But yeah, on the back end, the eagle is going down. 55 seconds left. This is looking good yet again.
I'm sure he must have had an itchy trigger finger on popping that Grand Warden Eternal Tome, but he got it at the exact perfect second. There was not a better moment to have sent it in there, protecting the Stone Slammer, insulating from multiple air traps. He greatly predicted the shape of the bottom side of the space and got the 3-star that VN Champions so desperately needed here. It's all down to these last 2 attacks. Itsu, the triple from Skystars will be enough to guarantee victory, but even a 2-star might be enough if the VN Champions can't keep this pressure up. We have got an exciting finish ahead with these last 2 attacks. What are your predictions, though, Itsu? How's it going to shape up in the end?
That's such a tough question. Like, predict. I mean, yeah, the first attack, I was like, wait a second, what is going on? And then all of the last attacks, all being 3-stars, it's so hard to predict what the last attack is going to be. I think Skystars is just going to push all through. I think they're just like way too cool and collected at this point, going all the way. I think they are looking so good. I think they got the confidence back after the first fail with having so many 3-stars back to back. But at the same time, I mean, it's Clash, anything can happen. So really looking forward to see what exactly is about to happen.
Well, before this war began, I was leaning a bit toward the VN Champions, but now that we're in the final stages of the attacks, I think I'll give 2-to-1 odds in Skystars' favor. Really, the only way that VN Champions can win at this point is if Skystars fails on their next attack, getting a 2-star or less, and then VN Champions comes back with a 3-star finish. These are both squads that have shown that their offensive capabilities are not to be questioned, even when they might slip up every now and then. They are still reliably putting those big finishes off. I said that we might just see a 13-star victory, but if Sky Stars can finish off in style, they will reach that 14-star average that they had put up before, even against one of the best defensive clans in the game right now. Certainly a very impressive finish, backing up their performance over #1 Space Station and the really well-renowned JX Tiger. Hanzo from Sky Stars will be the last to send his blade into this furious fray. The Battle Blimp will get an easy first star off of the Town Hall, and it's all up to the supporting actors now. This Archer Queen backing up with healers and then leading into the La Lune finish.
Yeah, and this looks so far really, really strong. Like, he's starting with that queen, trying to force her inside the expo compartment. First wall break did not work though. There's the next wall break. He wants to get that queen into that compartment, but the timing is off, and this now is looking really bad because he's not able to reach that Sing Inferno tower, and this might be really bad news for him. King and queen are now in the same compartment, and things aren't looking good. There's a triple Ice Golem Clan Castle coming out of the Clan Castle right there, and we have the Royal Champion getting sent into the Sing Inferno tower. This was not planned. He wanted to have the Royal Champion in combination with the Lalo, and now the Royal Champion is stealing those healers. Woody, this is not looking good.
He is adapting on the fly, and he is trying to make the best of a bad situation here. Now, the healers have peeled off of the Archer Queen, but that gave the Royal Champion a bit more of a push into the bottom section. They're going to go back up to help the Archer Queen now, and she's having some trouble making her way to the final multi-target Inferno, but it looks like she's going to have a little bit left to say here, still holding on to that ability, so she will be able to pop it just in time to support these balloons on entry. They're going to soak a few air bombs going onto the healers, so this Archer Queen might be down for the count, but that leaves a little bit more room for the balloons to get the job done. Still holding on to another rage spell, and great support from the Grand Warden now back. He's already popped the Eternal Tome, but keep an eye on that centralized multi-target Inferno. That was a crucial target, and failing to take it down might mean that Hanzo is left with just 2 stars.
Wow, we both said that Sky Stars has a huge advantage, but they're struggling to finish this match off. They needed a 3-star. Everything below, like a 2-star, 99%, it does not matter, because percentage-wise, VN Champions has the lead, which means if they go into 3-star next, it's 13-13, and they have the percentage lead due to that. So this match, just in 1 single second, got flipped on its head. If VN Champion is somehow able to get the 3-star done. And this, I have to say, was a surprising turn of events, but this is making this match even more intense, even more interesting to finish things off. It's one last attack, and this one single attack decides everything.
Hanzo with the hammer in hand, ready to nail the last nail in the coffin for VN Champions, yet instead he is left without that final third crucial star. The 2-star 91% is going to buff up the percentage a little bit, but that was never really going to be in question. The only thing that we have to wonder now is, can VN Champions come back over the top? Can they surmount that incredible difficulty, having just got 1 star off the first bat? Can they get now that final crucial triple to win it all? Nothing short of a 3-star is going to be sufficient for Hai Tran, but I'm sure he has been in this situation before as the clutch attacker, the last hitter for the VN Champions. He knows that everything is riding on him. He has had the most time to prepare, and he has brought the mighty hybrid army soaring in from the skies. It's Dragon Riders and Dragons. Itsu, what are you seeing?
Yes, it's the Dragon Rise, but at the same time, we have 2 clone spells in place, and that's a really interesting combination. So let's see how he's going to make that work. He's going to most likely blimp those dunes from the clones those dunes from the blimp. But is that blimp first off reaching this town hall? Is there a NATO? Something else? So far, yes, there is a NATO. He is going to clone everything behind the town hall. He has 1 more clone left, and this town hall is going down. Wait a second. This is an invisibility super minion cloned blimp right there. He's taking down the town without any problems. But was that worth it? He invested a ton in getting that town off the way. There's the freeze for the defending queen. And this is looking pretty good with the cloned Super Minion Blimp. What is going on? This is such a cool move to take down the town or everything behind. And this base looks crushed.
Special weapons and tactics from the VN champions. They are the masters of guerrilla warfare and will use everything at their disposal to get that final triple. When their backs were up against the wall, they came back swinging even harder. Ignore that first 1-star because it is triples from here on out. Hytran has done it. A 3-star for the VN champions is enough to secure victory, and they will be advancing to the semifinals in the last Clash Masters Open event. Can they get the points to make it all the way to the playoffs? We have still got some more wars to decide that. But for now, they are victorious, squashing Sky Stars in a narrowly contested 13-13 match. The average destruction tiebreaker will tip out in their favor, Itsu.
That was such a close match, and finishing things off with something like that in style, like using the Super Minion clone blimp, like that's something really unusual, and that's so cool to see in such a high pressure moment, like using something like that. And well, paid off big time because they got the 3-star, was a huge overkill. At the same time, getting the defense, turning the match in the last attack around. That was something no one of us was really expecting still. Super exciting to see. That was just the first match of today. That was just the first match of today, Woody, and I can't wait for what is next.
Whew, I might need to get a fan and get a sip of water because we have got 3 more excellent matches coming up. Congratulations to the VN champions. It really cannot go without saying enough that they were able to get a victory after having such a terrifying slip up in their first hit. A 1-star strike leading into a ferocious fusillade of impactful hits, all from the skies, all raining down hellfire on these Sky Stars bases. Triples all the way throughout. They dropped the swag spells. They showed confidence the entire way through. Hats off to Sky Stars because they played a very even keel game, never giving up any crucial attack, but never really showing the forcefulness that VN champions could. With that 3.4% average destruction advantage, the VN champions on every single hit gave it their all, and they were rewarded handsomely for it. They will have a chance now to advance, but I think that the eyes of the world are going to be on round 2 next, Itsu. What are you looking forward to?
Yeah, we have the next match coming up in just a couple of minutes with Queen Walkers versus HD Family. That match is going to be incredible. You don't want to miss that. And if you don't want to miss it, well, just come back in a couple of seconds because we are going to go into a really short break. So refill your glasses and then come back in just a couple of seconds because we are going to be there with the match Queen Walkers versus HD Family.
Howdy and welcome back to Clash Masters. What an amazing performance from VN Champions and Sky Stars in our very first war today, but it's victory for Vietnam, a 13-13 result, and they will advance to the semifinals for tomorrow. But for now, I'm Woody, rejoined by Itsu, and we are getting ready for our second match.
Yeah, our second match is going to be crazy. It's super important for both teams to get those points, and I think we should directly jump into the bracket to take a look at what exactly is coming at us, because we have the match of Queen Walkers facing off against HT Family. Both of those teams are already in the top 8 of the leaderboards for those points to qualify into the playoffs, which means this match is going to be even more important, because whoever is going to move forward is able to collect even more points to make sure that they are guaranteed in this top 4 position. So considering that, we have a super important match on our hands for this tournament overall. Both teams anywhere super competitive, so I cannot wait to have this match started, because, well, come on, it's HT Family and Queen Walkers, 2 of the best clans, best teams in the entire world.
Right, you are, Itsu. And as we said before, HT Family just 1 point behind the Queen Walkers. Queen Walkers got the first place finish from week 1, while HT Family has been a bit more smooth and consistent in their showings. They were quarterfinalists in the last week and actually got 4th place in the week before. So victory here and now is crucial for these 2 clans. They both want to advance, and perhaps if they get the win here, that might be enough to guarantee placement in the playoffs next couple of weeks from now. So it's all come down to this moment for these 2 clans, the quarterfinals of week 3, the last chance to score points, and they are both very well matched. Queen Walkers, of course, the 2020 Championship World's runner-up team, and HT Family, a perennial favorite among our audience. We have seen them compete in multiple Worlds qualifying events and take it to the very top in the past. They've also been quite successful, having picked up wins over the Dark Unicorns, QSFN, and a Worlds qualifying team, Aphelion Esports, just today. So they are playing at their prime, and this is expected to be another very close match.
Yeah, but let's take a look at how close is it actually going to be based on the leaderboard. So let's take a look at that in right now, pretty much, and we have Nishang Dance at this number 1 seed. This is leaderboards, how it's looking right now, which means Nishang Dance right now dethroned Space Station. We can see Queen Walkers over there as well. HT Family already being in the top 4. And as well, we can see how important it is going to be to see Alternate later on, because if Alternate as well are getting some more points, this might be that Space Station is dropping out of maybe the top 4. All of those things are still going to be interesting to follow, and obviously we're going to always look at the updated leaderboards after every single match. But just the next match is going to be important in its own to see if those 2 teams can remain the top 4 seeding, which they achieved so far in the leaderboards, or if they're going to miss out on this. And if you guys out there are thinking like, hey, I can do that as well, like I'm good as those clashes are, make sure to sign in the last chance qualifier. But now we are live with our attack. We have Queen Walkers coming in with Gaku attacking first, and I saw the Electric and was like, wait a second, Gaku attacking with the Electric Dragons? But no, it's going to be the Air Hybrid yet again, which is Dragon Riders and Inferno Dragons. This is the combination which a lot of pros are using right now, and it is so powerful. So let's see if he can make quick work of that base. The funnel is set, the Dragons are down, and the attack just is getting underway.
I think this is fantastic base identification from Gaku, seeing 4 ground expos and a great opportunity to go on a clockwise attack throughout this base. He's going to have a long marathon march to get all the way through, but if he can knock down this centralized air defense on the left side here with an Electro Dragon charge, or maybe even utilizing that Dragon Rider, he should have a solid shot at the triple. He's going a bit slow early on, and it looks like the air defense will still stand, but keep an eye at the midsection and bottom now, stabbing straight at the Eagle Artillery and finishing it off, Itsu.
Yeah, it's such a quick strike always with this attack, but at the same time, with having the apparently ground expos, getting rid of those skeleton spells really quickly, the attack is falling short in the core, but at the same time, maybe he can speed things up again with going to the back end. He has the Queen ability and the Royal Champion ability. Maybe this somehow can still work. It's going to be close for sure, but with this Queen getting delayed on that wall, that might be actually a good thing for him. Royal Champion ability is getting used. There's one minion clearing out the top side. The Queen can still follow up and see her ability if the Inferno Tower even is going down. This would look even better for him. And it's going down. The Queen ability is not even used. He has 1 minute left. Woody, I think somehow in a miracle run, Gaku was able to take this down if the Queen ability is used accordingly.
Let's cross our fingers for Gaku and hope that the pathing goes well here on the back end. We still have just 2 buildings left, so I think that ought to be it. As long as there's no bomb to take care of that minion, he'll have that bomb tower finished off. And yep, the Queen made it through the wall without any problems at all. Congratulations to Gaku. It wound up being a little bit closer, I think, than he may have planned or had hoped for, with just the Queen to finish off the rest of the buildings at the end section there. That air defense just right in the core, slightly adjusted to the left side, was taking out so many of the attacking troops. Dragon Riders, Election Dragon, Inferno Dragons, all going down to it. But in the end, they did enough work on the bottom right and bottom section to finish off the key defenses that protected that Archer Queen through her path to the last compartment. So congratulations, Queen Walkers, picking up the 3-star on their first hit, Itsu.
Yeah, and now we have obviously HG Family coming in next. They like the dragons as well. Like, they're typically as well one of the clans which sometimes even use Electro Dragons. This is why I was so confused seeing the Electro Dragon early from Gaku before I actually was able to check out the army at the bottom side. But let's see, HG Family likes to run them sometimes as well. They're really good with those. But at the same time, they like to run those dragons as well. They were one of the couple of teams which actually invented a lot of things. For example, if you remember back then, like the lightning trick with the Royal Champion, which was really popular in Town 13. They were like the team which first off used that on Town 13 back then. So a really inventive team, a really creative team. So let's see what they're coming up with next in this really highly anticipated match.
Right you are. And with enough planning and time and preparation, we would expect that the attackers would come up with some sort of strategy that would have a reliable chance at grabbing 3 stars. But there's always the question of the crunch. Can they get that planning done in time? Can they find the key mechanism to unlock that 3-star ability? HT Family has shown up many times before and has gone toe-to-toe with great squads like the Queen Walkers. But I'm not quite sure whether or not they've had the history through this event to get it done at the very top of the competition. Queen Walkers, having picked up a first-place victory in that first week, have shown that they can go to the very top, have had the consistency on a week-by-week basis. Ching K is going to be the first hitter for HT Family, and we'll find a little bit of success on this left edge, sending in that Dragon Rider to knock a few down. But it's kind of an unusual start for an air attack to commit troops like that. He's got to hope that the rest of them are going to be able to go the distance on the backside, where he still finds a couple of air defenses without any clear answer as to how to take them down. Itsu?
Yeah, it's always like a good move of those Inferno Dragons in the beginning, but this attack already is heating up really quickly with that blimp towards the town hall, taking that out right away. And then we have those dragons inside the core of this base. We have the air defenses quite far on the outside, which means they're not easy to, like, they're not reaching easily inside the core. This could be less damage on those dragons, but at the same time, the Eagle is staying alive for now, which is even more damage on those Dragon Riders. In the bottom side, the Scatter Shot for now is staying alive, which might have a huge impact on this attack. The Queen, what are you doing yet again? There's a cannon. Just walk around the corner and you will get it eventually. Just don't mind. But the Royal Champion is getting it done at the bottom side, taking down the Scatter. And with this, the Queen... Wait, she's just skipping everything. Oh, I don't care. Goodness. She is doing her job at this point, and I think this should be still a 3-star.
Hey, she didn't do it the way we might have done it, Itsu, but she got the job done nonetheless. It's always funny to see when a Queen's shooting at the wall, and then, like, right before the last hit to kill the wall, something else kills the building that she's targeting on, and she just like starts charging in a completely different direction. It seems like she doesn't have a plan, but she's got some way of making it happen. The 3 stars coming in after all here from HT Family, keeping our score even up 3-3 off the first 2 attacks. An impressive showing for 2 squads going up against base builders, the likes of which we see on the World Finals stage. So average stars from Queen Walkers anyways has been above 13. We saw a 14, a 12, and a 14 star showing from them so far this week. So keep in mind that as we advance and expect to see a 14-star victory, or at least a very high percentage 13 like in our previous war.
Yeah, do you have on your list as well, like against which team they only had 12 stars? Like that's already a really good defensive result.
That was against SDT. They had a 12-11 victory against SDT.
Okay, that's interesting. That's quite low score, especially considering that it's Queen Walker. So let's see what they're going to come up with next. Typically, we have the follow-up of like Gaku being Stadra, and he is normally going in with this P.E.K.K.A. Smash or like some sort of smash attack. He's even sometimes using the Super Witches. I really love his P.E.K.K.A. Smash because he is really good at using the Log Launcher as well and getting some great value out of that. So let's see if he's doing exactly that. And after that, we have the 2 fan favorites most likely attacking with Klaus and Stars. But first, Stadra should be going in next with his P.E.K.K.A. Smash, and he's so good at it. He's using it in Legend as well, and something which I really admire with some of those Smash attackers, going in from the complete other side of the base, or like complete other side of the Town Hall, and still getting those 3 stars consistent. So let's see if he can make that work. He's starting off with the Warden Walk, but that Warden Walk was predicted, starting right into the Testa farm at this bottom side. And then we should have the strike, the smash, coming into the Eagle compartment with a Log Launcher following up to somehow get that Town Hall out of the way. But let's see if that's going to work. The Warden Walk is taking some time due to the Testa farm, which might be the biggest objective. Time in a P.E.K.K.A. Smash, time in a Warden Walk is something which you should never underestimate, Woody.
It's always great to see an ordinary thing done in an extraordinary way, whether it's a Chick-fil-A sandwich or whether it is attacking a base with a brilliant hybrid Sky Army. But there is something special for Stadra to see 12 aerial attacks before him and say, you know what? It's time to bring in the Log Launcher. It's time for a Golem. It's time for some P.E.K.K.A.s. We are going big and burly all the way through with this avalanche of destruction marching from the bottom corner. I'm just wondering, where is he going to set this Log Launcher up? As you noted, he has gotten massive value from them in the past, rolling through so many layers of walls to get all the way to the Town Hall. And this is where it's coming from. That 8 o'clock position on the left corner. He's going to stab down the Eagle artillery early on. So the biggest things that I'm worried about now are those Inferno towers and the scatter shot in the top corner. Has he got a plan to deal with them, Mitsu?
Yeah, it's interesting. He's pretty much skipping the one Inferno tower, but at the same time, he has a lot of power pushing through that corner. The Golem, the P.E.K.K.A., everything is following in there. And there are the Rocket Loons in the defensive clan castle coming out of it. The Supermins as well. The defensive Rocket Loons can deal a lot of damage, but at the same time, an attacker which is kind of trained or like which is used to defending or like attacking those clan castle troops has no problem to deal with them. The Royal Champion at the... Wait a second, where's the Royal Champion? I thought I saw her at the top side, but she is at the bottom side. I just was not able to find her. And she is able to jump around that Golem, tanking perfectly. And as long as those troops can actually dodge the Town Hall Poison, this is looking really, really strong for Stadra. But time, wait a second, time is a huge problem.
Time is not on his side. 30 seconds left for 17% of the base, and he doesn't really have a quick rapid strike here. There's no rage spells. He is going to be able to toss that Royal Champion shield, but it is going to be a bit of a dicey play here. I think he might still have it, but 18 seconds left. He needs to pop that Queen ability and get a little bit more firepower on the field. There it goes. 3 stars after all, and not really even coming down to the wire. Congratulations to Stadra for a beautiful ground-based attack, finishing it off in style with the 6 stars now for his team.
Yeah, you should never underestimate the party wizards. They're so fast and they can deal so much damage. Yes, they are one shot to pretty much everything which the defense can like throw at them. But at the same time, they're so quick in cleanup. And this is something where maybe we saw before the event troop, where we saw a couple of time fails. Nowadays, with those party wizards, we are not seeing them. And you can use them without any problems in all of those competitions. So they are boosting up the hit rate just a little bit. We saw a couple of time fails over Tournament 14, obviously, with like a lot of high 90s. But with those party wizards, those are getting less right now. So let's see how that's going to change over the time when they're getting removed again. But at the same time, we have HD Family coming in next, and they need to 3-star to keep up the pressure game, to not fall under the pressure, because falling behind against Queen Walkers, that's a scary thing, because, you know, like, they're not getting worse. Like, their attackers are so incredibly skilled all over, so it's not something you want to do against them. Falling behind is really scary.
I love the Party Wizards. A great thematic way to celebrate Clash of Clans' 9th anniversary. We are coming up on a deadly decade, and the Party Wizard's got even crazier hair than I do, so I got to give it credit to him for being able to manage all that up there. Let's take a look at Jinmu's attack now from HT Family. He is going to be coming back in with a Dragon Rider Queen Charge, but the Queen is taking a mighty beating right off the bat, forcing out a lot of spells here to try to keep her topped off and healthy. A Unicorn and healers already stacked right on top of her to get through this enemy Barbarian King. There's going to be another hero for her to have to deal with. Multiple point target defenses locked onto her, but that is some massive healing, and Jinmu has done it. He'll pierce through the bottom left corner of this base, and that is going to be a lot of destructive potential for her. But no! Forcing out the ability, that Queen is actually going to be in dire straits again, as CC pulled out. Is going to get some poison support. Unfortunately for Jinmu, that poison is going to get maximum effect against the troops that are trickling out. So great read there. Log Launcher will go in, and wow, this base is just falling apart, Itsu!
That is crazy. This log launcher got so much value. Really looking forward to see what is in there. Maybe another Dragon Rider or something. What is in there? It's more healers. He's sending even more healers to the party, supporting his queen, making sure that his queen is staying safe. And there are the Dragon Riders coming from the top. That he has 1 minute 30 seconds left. And this queen charge is just looking awesome, getting everything out of the way. Defending Royal Champ is now getting taken down as well by those headhunters. The Dragon Riders are closing in. The Sweeper is getting frozen up with that single Inferno Tower together. And Woody, this is looking so good for Jinmu. What a crazy charge.
Jinmu calls in the field medics, and those extra healers will be just what the doctor ordered, topping off that Archer Queen, keeping them healthy and safe through the final stage of this base. She was the main event for this hit. Jinmu grabbing 3 stars with no problem at all on time or troops remaining. Look at that. All 5 Dragon Riders still standing at the end. This was, in my opinion, the most crushing, overwhelming attack that we have seen so far today.
Yeah, the idea with having the log launcher fitted with a couple of loons and even more healers was a really smart one. What's important that he did use that queen ability early on just to make sure that she's not getting taken down, because the entire plan was relying on her getting the majority of this base down. So really, really good attack by him, taking down so many compartments with his heroes. And now it's back to Queen Walkers, and those two teams are not slowing down. Both of them are back to back, getting those 3-star attacks in, and so far none of those attacks seem to like disappoint, or whatever you want to call it. So Queen Walkers being next, most likely Stars coming in next with some creative masterpiece, I want to call it, because it's always such a pleasure to watch those attacks. And they were coming in even in a couple of matches where it's really important with those crazy attacks, which no one is predicting.
It's always fun for me to try to get a glimpse of the psychological warfare that's going on underneath the battlefield. You know that these two teams know a lot about each other and are spending a lot of time in preparation thinking about what their opponents might try to bring to bear. With so many aerial attacks in the first war, and still even also in the second war, it seems to be all about trying to defend against the sky. But with a queen charge and a Sui heroes up at the top that can knock out 40% of the base in 1 minute, you gotta wonder what else you could do to try to prevent such an overwhelming strike early on. lots of rage spells committed and a big siege machine to roll through and help that Archer Queen. If things had gone wrong there, that might have been a 1-star strike. But you got to wonder, with 5 Dragon Riders still up, even if something had gone wrong in the early stages of that attack, it still seems like he would have had so much to come over the top and finish it off. This is really a master class in offensive clashing right now, with a 6 to 6-star total for these two heavily offensive based teams.
Yeah, we have the next attack coming in from Queen Walkers this time around. It's Stars coming in with the Blizzard Lalo, and he's one of those players similar to Boom from Auto-10, for example, who can take down so many things with his blimp. So let's see if that's going to work. He's sending the blimp. There is some red bombs. No, wait a second. I don't think the blimp made it into the compartment.
He threw away an
he wanted to make the
early.
Yeah, he wanted to make the air defense invisible just to make sure that this air defense is not getting targeted by this Lava Hound, to get the Lava Hound angle a bit different, to make sure that the blimp angle is getting cleared from traps. But it did not work because this sweeper pushed one time, and this caused the Lava Hound to not trigger the black mines and everything, which caused the blimp actually not to drop on top of the bitter huts and instead open up one tile too early. So that was super close, but at the same time, I mean, it's still Stars, which he can get so much value out of all of this. And he's now sending in the Royal Champion to take down the Eagle, and still, I think he's still trying to get that town off the way, which is not going to be easy, but I mean, it's Stars, so maybe he can somehow make that work.
Yeah. Well, I'm left questioning what exactly is happening here, but Stars has shown time and again that he's been able to come back over the top and get the win. So even though he's committed a lot to the early stage of this attack, dropping spells all over the place and trying his best to get the tactical advantage through here, it is still looking a bit dicey. Knocks down the Eagle Artillery and gets a few traps triggered here over on the bottom left side, but the main stage has yet to be deployed. A minute and 22 seconds left, and we are left wondering when they're going to get dropped. He's got 2 Lava Hounds and 22 balloons, so that is certainly not a small army to commit to this fight, but with just a Unicorn supporting this Archer Queen over on the left side, she might be vulnerable soon. With a scatter shot still at the support right in the core, Stars is on his path to victory now, marching straight through the top right side, and his eyes set straight on that Town Hall. He's about to claim the 2nd star, but can he go the distance? He's got a solid shot, but a Tesla farm in the bottom right corner is going to be the final target to lock onto.
That Warden ability covering everything. That Lalo was a beauty in its own, and everyone who tried Lalo at some point knows how hard it can be. But he's just making things look easy, but at the same time, time is ticking as well. With 30 seconds left, could be a problem. The Hound is popping, which is a huge thing. It's generating more lava pops. And the Clan Castle, as you said, is the last remaining building, which can somewhat defend this. And there's the King in between of the Clan Castle and out of the lava pups. The King is quite tanky. It's 15 seconds left. The lava pups should be able to fly over. It's 10 more seconds. Any more red bombs, and this could be all the red bombs are delaying even more. Another red bomb is coming up, and this is now going to be so close. 5 seconds, 4 seconds, but the Clan Castle is going down to the Warden. That was a close finish on time, but power-wise, oh my goodness. I think the blimp did not work out, but still, Stars is just overpowering the base. This was impressive to watch.
Another crushing victory, a 9-6 so far, and we are really seeing the offensive might of these two clans brought to bear, coming in once again from the top. And what seemed to me that it might have been a misclick, but nonetheless able to pull off the victory in stellar fashion, grabbing with just a few seconds left that Clan Castle in the center. But we are already hopping into the next one. Get ready for conflagration, because it's fire moving in for the HT family squad. They have got 5 Dragon Riders and 9 Inferno Dragons for an impressive aerial assault. Not even really bringing a whole lot of troops in support here. There's not going to be any healers to back up the Archer Queen. Instead, it's just going to be Sui heroes in the bottom to finish off that Town Hall with a blimp early on, and just relying on whatever he's got left to make it all the way through this base. Air defenses spread out, and the one in the bottom compartment still standing after that early encounter.
Yeah, the bottom the air defense over there needs to be taken down soon, but the Dragon Rider with this Inferno Dragon should be easily doing that final job over there. Hound is getting taken down. This is looking good. He's using the king to tank for his queen. And then with so many walls being open, like at this point, take a look at all of those open corner walls, which is giving those heroes so much power because they can just like walk in and walk out of those compartments without having any problems. So this is huge, talking about the dragon attacks like this, because in those dragon attacks, the powerful thing are the heroes, because they can just like get so much value in there. Warden abilities covering the majority of those dragons, tanking so many black mines right there. The queen even stepped inside the base, trying to support those dragons. And now it's all about if he can push through, but the problem was the king got a bit too far ahead. He's using the heal and the rage to keep everything alive, but I don't know if that's going to be enough to push to the back end.
That is just a terrifying compartment in the north central part of this base, and the Royal Champion coming in a little bit late. She's going to be able to get massive damage in there, but the splash damage is already hit. Fire's army is just fallen apart over on the right side, and it's really just left to the heroes now in the core of the base to try to get through. A very big section left, only has 2 hero abilities left to drop, and he's really going to have to be crossing his fingers to try to go on a marathon march through the back end. Pops that Royal Champion shield, and that knocks down a few more, but I still see multiple point defenses up and a terrifying Tesla farm on the top edge. He's going to have to get through so many layers of walls, and this Archer Queen just does not seem up to the task, Itzu. I think that we are finally seeing our first defensive success here for Stadra.
Yeah, this, even though I thought this would be the perfect base for the strategy, because with all of those open walls, it looks so strong. Yeah, to just get the heroes in and out and get them so much power, but I feel like the queen did not walk as intended, covering this top side, instead walking inside, and then the dragons were like splitting up just a little bit too much, and this is causing the first base to defend against this powerful attack strategy. So really good job to Stadra and Queen Walkers in building and testing and just getting the idea of this base. And this means it's going to be the first defense. Queen Walkers getting the lead after the third attack each. And now it's just going to be more and more creative, because we have Klaus coming up next. And I'm already looking forward to see what he's showing up next and what strategy he's going to use. It's always something exciting.
Almost always is. He's a fan favorite for good reason. I guess the last word on to debrief that last attack for HT family is that having only 2 stars now, they'll be falling far behind. It's pretty incredible that they would be at 8 stars and 95.7% average destruction after the third hit, and to be so far behind now. But the Queen Walkers are just such an overwhelming force that even with 1 successful defense, they can crush what's left of your base. Klaus, renowned for his attacking capabilities, now is going to be backing it up with another Law Loon strike. He's brought a couple of these rocket loons to grab that Archer Tower up in the top corner, maybe seeking around for some seeking air mines. Doesn't find any, but the Battle Blimp will be popping right overhead of that Archer Queen and Scatter Shot. If he can take both of those down, that should be good value for this early strike.
Yeah, he's getting some good value right there, blimping this one compartment, getting a lot of value. But the important thing is to get the clan castle out of the way early. Klaus really likes to do crazy things with his heroes, and for this he needs to take down the defending clan castle, because the clan castle is like the biggest problem, the biggest defense against defending heroes. If there's like a hound in there which is getting like which is tanking the defending queen, that's always a big problem. And well, with this setup, he should be able to deal with that way easier at the top side, taking down the Lava Hound with the Lava Pups, and then later on sending his king, sending in his queen to push really far inside this base. He has this, even the one jump with him, which typically is really crazy to bring, and he's bringing so many ice golems, and this attack is just getting started.
It's like if you have enough army camp space for the healers, you usually see all 5 of them, brah. But if you don't, having a complement of ice golems out in front can give you just enough insulation to get the job done, finish off the key targets that you're looking for, and then begin the main stage of the attack with the protection layer out in front of the remaining heroes. If that is the case, it looks like just a unicorn might be enough to keep the Archer Queen safe through this early stage. Klaus has left that Town Hall up on the bottom right side, though. And with the 2 Inferno Towers protecting a 1 single and multi, that is going to be a lot of damage dishing out, and kind of a long way to have to get to it here. He's attacking from the bottom left edge now, and with both Lava Hounds stacking up, one of them already popping early on, he's going to have to get them on target quick and fast. He's got 3 haste spells to do it and 5 freeze spells, so expect to see some inclement weather here as Klaus makes his way through the last edge of this base. 43 seconds separating him from total glory.
Yeah, like, this defending Town Hall can't even do anything about this. Like, at this point, it's just like sitting around, getting frozen up yet again, and yet again, and yet again. It can't do anything at this point, and yeah, he's doing a great job of keeping all of his troops alive, and with 24 seconds left, it is yet again a crazy overpowering attack, swagging some freezes in the core. Found the giant bomb farm, I want to say, around the Town Hall, but that was just way too late to defend this attack. So really a beauty of an attack from Klaus yet again. And Queen Walkers are just keep pushing forward with their pressure game and getting a good lead right there. As you said, HT family were not doing bad at any means, but at the same time, it's Queen Walkers what we're talking about. And at the moment, you can get those crazy scores as well, and that's exactly what Queen Walkers is doing.
From the sky, from the ground, from all around, the Queen Walkers making offensive headway against every base that HT family has built up against them. They've been able to put up 14 stars time and again, and even against one of the best base building squads out there, HT family, the Queen Walkers are still coming in ahead. This is a very difficult mathematical battle for HT family to be fighting right now, with back-to-back triples necessary and a big defensive pickup against the last remaining attack from Queen Walkers. Don't come to expect it, though, as the Queen Walkers, one of the best offensive squads in the game, know how much is riding on this war. Just as a reminder, Queen Walkers and HT family both have 15 and 14 points respectively to their squads. They need to come up with a semifinal or better performance if they want to guarantee placement in the playoffs. So this war is extremely crucial, and with the advantage for the Queen Walkers now, HT family know that their backs are up against the wall. ICU has seen comebacks happen before. The BN champions made it happen despite an early slip up against the Sky Stars squad. So can he be the one to lead his clan to victory? He's got just 2 more attacks left to commit. This one is going to be a rarely seen Hog Rider based army with a Queen Charge complement. What is he planning for this hit, Itsu?
He is planning some nice Hog Riders right there. This is something which is a bit off meta, but at the same time is working really great for a couple of teams. And that's the crazy thing right now. It feels like in the beginning, after the last big update, everyone was saying like, oh, Dragon Riders being OP, Ares being really strong. But it feels like right now everything is tripling. It's not about like one specific troop. It's more like about the creativity of those players. We see Queen Walkers non-stop 3-starring with Lalo, for example. On the other side now we have HT family even coming in with those Hog Riders. So I'm really looking forward to see if they can make that work. He has maybe to cover this Archer, which is slowly taking down his healers. Maybe one Archer to take that out. That would be pretty great. But either way, those witches on defense are not doing anything against this attack. And there we go, the Hog Riders just started, and they now have to take down the majority of this base.
2 heals, 3 freeze, and the first rage already dropped in here. There's an enemy Archer Queen and Barbarian King and Royal Champion up top. Those heroes are mighty scary for a Hog Rider army. That's why ICU has brought those headhunters. They are assassins, cloaked in the dark and ready to strike at any hero they come across. But the Royal Champion still standing is going to be a big bulwark for defense in the top side. Finally taking a few shots here now, and she goes down, but how much damage has she already dealt to those Hog Riders? Queen out the bottom corner has been defeated, and ICU, the last best hope for HT family, is on his final legs. 37 seconds left, and the last offensive strike he's got is this Royal Champion shield. But with a scatter shot up, the free spell is not gonna be enough to stop her. One more is down, and that's the last thing he's got. That Royal Champion has been finished off by the lone Archer Tower standing atop the final hill. This is going to be a defensive pickup for the Queen Walkers.
Yeah, that base really looked interesting. We have the double scatter shot setup. Like with the core and with the dead zones around it, this looks really interesting to me. Like it's a strange looking base, and that's what Queen Walkers really like to run. Like those diamond shaped bases, but at the same time, like those cores of the bases look so different from what everyone else is using. So it's really not easy. Like all those teams which might like are familiar with the current anti 3-star setup, and then they have to attack those really weird looking bases. It's not easy to do this switch that easily. And Queen Walkers, nice doing that, getting their second defense in already. And this is pretty much the game already. But at the same time, as long as not something crazy is happening, what we obviously do not hope, Queen Walkers should have this in the bag. With Utah coming in last, we have a crazy Queen Charger attacker. He's doing Queen Charge Lado, Queen Charge Dragon Riders. This should be a really exciting attack to watch.
It seems some clans like to make a statement with swag spells or abilities toward the end of their attacks, but the Queen Walkers, a steady soul squad, setting up a diamond base with a crown atop the center of that base, like two beady eyes staring into HT family. The scatter shots, those pupils just directing incredible firepower against the attackers. The Queen Walkers are now primed for a walk-away win. They just need to get 2 stars here to guarantee advancement into the semifinals. And with an impressive Queen Charge start for this Laloon strike, you have every reason to expect that Utah 14 will get the job done.
Yeah, the Queen Charge just has started. He's going to do the connection wall break towards that Expo, which should look really good. There's the wall breaker running. The Rage is in there as well, and this Queen now has access to the entire compartment right there. Taking down the air defense, which might be a threat to those healers with some rocket loons. So really good job of handling those. And the Lalo then for the follow-up later on. So the question remains, how is he going to deal with that tunnel? Is it going to be with like the king or something? But at the same time, having the single Inferno over there might be a big problem. But there's the clan castle coming out, and it's a triple ice golem clan castle, which is not that usual anymore. So yeah, that takes some time to take down the ice golems. And there we go, skeleton spell and the king and the royal champion all getting sent for that town hall. That's looking like an interesting plan right there.
Yeah, those ice golems are a bit unusual now. They can work well if there's lots of defenses firing away at the queen, or if there's some threat of a time fail here. But Utah 14 with the town hall down only needs to just get 10% more overall damage to accomplish his task here. Of course, he will still be trying for that 3-star. The perfect war still a possibility for the Queen Walkers, and with that queen in the mid, still charging strong with healer support and drawing the fire from that scatter shot. This is going to be a terrifying rain of fire from these balloons coming from the top left side, Itsu.
The queen died in her ability versus the defending scatter shot and versus the defending king, and that's now a big problem because we wanted to have that queen tanking that scatter shot, but instead now it has easily the possibility of switching onto those loons, especially consider. Oh, there's a really big hit onto those loons. And those loons are not slowing down. There's the invisibility spell covering those loons. But the Dragon Rider somehow needs to take down the scatter shot. He's freezing it up.
Okay.
Can he still make this? Red bombs are coming in, but
Maybe.
It's only 25 seconds left, Woody.
Yeah, it's going to be a long road to cross. This bridge is built, but can he get his troops over in time? 15 seconds left and a lot of cleanup left to do. The minions go fast, but the balloons certainly do not. And there's just missing a little bit of cleanup here. Maybe if he had had 1 or 2 party wizards on the outer edge from earlier on, it could have been enough, but 3 seconds left. It is so close, but the perfect war eludes the Queen Walkers. Nonetheless, the 2-star 98% is a very strong finish for them. The best clan showing so far on offense so far today, and maybe it'll hold up. 14 stars and above 99% average destruction, the Queen Walkers will advance to the semifinals, and it's just going to be one more attack from HT Family before we put the cap on this second round.
Yeah, and this means HT Family are going to go home at this point, but they still have the chance of staying inside the top 4. We're going to take a look at the leaderboards a bit later, but first we take a look at this base right here. Donks is going in with the Queen Charge Dragon Rider onto this base, starting his Queen Charge off from the bottom side. And then using, at least right now, he has the lock launcher selected. I'm looking forward to see how he's going to use that, because right now I don't really see how he's going to use that. Queen Charging from the Town Hall side. Maybe he's going to switch that just around it. That's like my feeling at the moment, because going from the Town Hall side with the lock launcher is pretty uncommon. But I mean, let's see. Maybe it's something. Okay, he's switching things up right there. But still, the Queen Charge for the Town Hall is looking strong. There's the Clan Castle coming out, and this Hound should delay things for just a little bit.
Yeah, a bit unusual to see that early stab toward the bottom, but he does back it up with great support. That Queen is going to have all the rage and healing that she needs to get that first star, and like you mentioned, mixing it up to the Stone Slammer should be a perfect complement for the remaining Dragon Riders here. Just a question of where they're going to be coming in from. If Donks is able to finish off a hero in the top corner and maybe get a little bit of add-on damage onto that Eagle Artillery, he's going to be very well positioned for victory. Instead, Barbarian King goes around to the bottom edge, kind of swooping around. He gets the shot on the Eagle, though, and that sword is heavy, swinging straight through and pulverizing the defenses. There it finally goes. Here we start the main stage of the attack, too.
Yeah, the Dragon Riders are coming in from the right side. We have that Queen staying alive because the core Inferno Tower is not set to single, which is a huge deal, obviously. And the Queen staying alive for the back end is a huge game changer. The test hour coming up as well, and they are trying to somehow make that work with so many Dragon Riders still left alive. There's the rage. The Queen is beating through the wall towards the core, which is not optimal, but still he needs to take down the back end Queen, and this sorry, this is the next task right him.
Yeah, a big walloping blow, and finally his troops are converging in the middle. A pincer movement from Donks, the top and bottom side, joining forces now with the remaining dragons in the center core, and they are going to be drilling a hole straight through to the end. But can that scatter shot hold up? Forcing out the Archer Queen ability, it's going to relock on now to the healers, and they have been eliminated. Plenty of anti-air fire to finish them off, but is it too late? Seems like it. The offensive capability of Donks is gonna drop the last bomb on this base and find the 3 stars that they sought. It's gonna be a 14-13 finish for the Queen Walkers and HT Family. Ultimate victory for the Queen Walkers in perfect stride. They are making their way onto the semifinals with a clear and present danger, striking up at the top-ranked teams and seeking placement in the playoffs. Remember, this is the last week to score playoff points, and only the top 4 teams will earn that spot. HT Family sent down and packing might have to compete in the Open Last Chance Qualifier taking place next week if they want to guarantee their place in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's right for sure, but I think we should take a look at the bracket. How is everything lining up for the next matches and what happened so far? Let's just take a look at that in that bracket. And we have it right here. The first match we saw today was Sky Stars losing versus VN Champions. And then Queen Walkers, which we just saw, versus HT Family coming with a victory. And the next match is going to be crazy. We have Nishang Dance facing off against KOG. And Nishang Dance, I mean, they're known under a couple of different names. They had a new name every single week in the Clash Masters. But either way, they were in this top 8 every single time. So this means they have already collected a ton of points, which means if they're going to win this next match, they can get even further in the leaderboard. So this match is going to be really important for them. So you don't want to miss that, because we are going into a really short break. Coming back in just a couple of minutes. So don't go away too far. We're back in just a couple of seconds. So see you then with the next match, Nishang Dance versus KOG.
everybody, and welcome back to Clash Masters. Today we are seeing the quarterfinals for the third and final week of point accumulation. The top 4 teams at the end of this weekend will score placement into the playoffs for this $20,000 prize pool event. For today, though, I'm Woody, joined by Itsu, and we've got 2 more excellent wars for you to watch. Itsu, what are you looking forward to?
That's right, Woody. I'm looking forward to the bracket yet again because we have some amazing matches still ahead of us. We already had 2 great matches, which was the BN champions coming out on top of about Sky Stars, and then we had Queen Walkers winning versus HG Family. But 2 more matches are coming up, and both of them are super important to the leaderboards because we have Nishang Dance facing off against KOG. Nishang Dance being really high up there in the leaderboards and could possibly collect even more points. And then we have RTK versus Alternate as our last match, and this is going to be an important match as well for Alternate because we can see right now they're barely not in this top 4, but they can make it in there as well for KOG. They are right now seed number 7, which means they could possibly even make it into the top 4 as well if they can push really far in this tournament.
Yeah, 24 points for Nishang Dance, up at the number 1 spot. An advancement here would virtually guarantee that they would have a spot in the playoffs. But like you mentioned, KOG is still in the running. They've scored 12, including the points that they've earned from earning a quarterfinal spot today. But they really do have to get toward the end if they want to have a chance at the playoffs next week. We've got great prizes that we're giving out to the clans today. $1,500 for first place, but $5,000 for the playoffs that are going to be taking place in a couple of weeks. Keep in mind, though, that there is the last chance qualifier next week. If you like what you see here and want to get a chance for your clan to compete, make sure to register with Clash Masters and get an opportunity to get to the very top of what is certainly a rising event in the community. Now, we're going to be starting off with our third war in just a little bit. Nishang Dance, mostly known for their performance in Worlds, a favorite for this month's competition, in fact, to get that golden ticket. With those 24 points, they earned victories over Clash Champs, Team XO, and just today earlier got a 13-10 victory over Fusion. Certainly a defensive powerhouse. GKKOG, on the other hand, has had a lot more close matches. Their wars have just been picked up with victories in average destruction, a 13-13 finish over UOL Jinx, and a 12-12 finish over Team Barat. So certainly having a bit more trouble as they move on. But the clan AS Monster is Nishang Dance in this war. That's what they will be known as, and Nishang Dance is what we will refer to them as during this match.
Yeah, that's right, Woody. And something which is really scary sometimes about Moon is that he really likes to run this slammer. But this time around, he's using the blimp just to make quick work of that tower. And with this angle, he even might be able to take down the Inferno Tower, which is a really key thing. At this point, it's all about the Dragon and Inferno Dragon pathing. But this NATO is key, pushing those loons away. But with that rage, those loons have no problem whatsoever of coming back, and now this huge wave of troops are just like flying over this base. And at this point, as long as the core is getting taken down, this is typically spelling great news for his heroes, because those are the troops which are finishing off the base most of the time. And with the back end of a scatter shot still staying up, Woody, what do you think? It's looking good, right?
Maybe. It's not going to be an overwhelming finish one way or the other. Moon has actually lost several of his Dragon Riders to traps. Whether they were Teslas on the top left edge or a Seeking Air Mine in the center, his aerial forces were running into quite a few unexpected problems. And yet he still does have a bit left to throw at this base. A Scatter Shot and Multi-Target Inferno are going to be the last remaining defenses. So they will, fortunately for him, go down without much trouble. He drops a swag free spell right in the middle there. So that indicates that he is feeling quite confident, holding on to his Archer Queen ability to the end, but really ran out of troops entirely. It was just the heroes to get the cleanup for that last strike. Congratulations to him on the 3-star victory. came out over the top when it came down to it.
Yeah, I had to laugh because like Ace or like Nishang Dance really known for liking to swag a lot. So looking forward to see if they're going to do that yet again. They really like to even force sometimes to swag, like trying to hold back spells and things like that. So let's see if they're going to do that yet again today. But starting off with already the first swag spell is starting good for them, I think. But at the same time, KOG right now, the current meta, they're incredible good with those dragon and air attacks in general. So let's see if Nishang Dance prepare against that. You already mentioned it, they scored 13 to 10 in the match right before that. And 10 stars on defense, that's already an accomplishment in its own in this current meta. So 10 stars, that's typically really good bases. So let's see if those bases are going to defend yet again as good against KOG. This is a really strong team, and especially using those air attacks perfectly, which are right now so strong in the meta. So I have to say I'm looking forward to maybe even picking a couple of things up and learning a couple of things about how they're trying to defend that. Or maybe they were just lucky in the first place in the first match. We don't know. We're going to witness that in a couple of seconds, Woody, and seeing what we can learn or pick up maybe.
Now, if you're just tuning in and you hadn't seen many of these so-called swag spells or abilities from heroes yet, you might be wondering why they're doing it. It's not to gain a strategic advantage necessarily in that attack or even some sort of tactical upper hand, but rather it is the mind games. It's about sending a message to your opponents that your offense is so powerful that you didn't even need that extra little bit of spell capacity or hero ability to finish off that base. So Nishang Dance certainly coming in style with their first strike, the 3 stars to start things off, and some extra ammunition in the holster ready to fire away at the next base. GKKOG has had their work cut out for them in past wars, and they are certainly going up against the highest ranked team in this competition that they have come across so far. So going up against Bad Zinger in their previous war, they got their 13-12 victory, but they have yet to score 14 stars in this Clash Masters week so far. So they are really going to have to put pedal to the metal and get a big start against NYLP defending for Nishang Dance. LP certainly well known as being one of the most interesting players to join from afar. He has signed on with this Chinese squad, but he is a player from the Netherlands himself. Is that right, Itsu?
Yeah, that's right. He's like playing, but he's already playing with Chinese teams for quite a bit. I mean, he won the World Championship 2019 with the Nova squad back then. So he's playing already with them for quite some time, and he has great success with that. So let's see if he can repeat that in this tournament as well. So far, looking like a successful entry, taking down the Town Hall, but the Inferno Tower on single is locked onto those dragons, and this might be bad news for him. But the freeze perfectly timed to take down the Inferno Tower, at least make sure that it's not beaming any of those dragons or dragon riders. And this attack is heating up quickly with taking down the core of this base, and this is typically exactly what you want to happen.
Glorious perfection in the timing here, not just with that freeze spell, but also with the Eternal Tome. Great placement on the Rage and the freeze spells to shut things down. He's got most of his troops concentrated toward the top side of the base, though, and just really the last thing he has to worry about now at this point is going to be that bottom side air defense. He's going to send in a Royal Champion to knock that apart, and that should be a good end point for this attack. Now, he does have a big compartment over on the right side, and as I'm watching these forces, they're starting to kind of dwindle over on that edge. Do you think he still has a shot at 3 stars, Itsu?
It's a tough call, especially considering that typically there are skeleton traps around scatter shots. So if there is a skeleton trap, for example, this could be really bad news for him. The king is right now tanking, but it's not too many bit points left at this point. The queen now is the next target for the scatter shot, but with the queen tanking, actually the Royal Champion is sneaking in and taking down the scatter shot from behind it. This means we have the next 3 on our hands, and KOG is right getting back on Monster and is getting that 3-star in as well. What is so important to not let the pressure go and not give one of those teams the early advantage, and that's exactly what they did there. Nice 3-star. It was close, yes, but at the end of the day, it's 3-star to 3-star.
Right, you are. Close is only relevant in horseshoes and hand grenades, they say, right? So a 3-star on paper is going to equalize KOG with Nishang Dance. Nishang Dance, I think, a little bit more over the top with those swag spells toward the end, but KOG showing that they are taking this war very seriously and coming up with a success in their first strike. We are tied up with the first 2 attacks on the board. Nishang Dance, I think, in my mind, has got a better entry point, a better start so far, but it is still anyone's war. And if the offensive capabilities for KOG continue to power through as they had in that first attack, I think that we could wind up going down to the wire, Itsu.
Yeah, that's right. It's going to be a crazy match for sure. With having the next attack coming in from Nishang Dance, it should be some interesting. Typically, they're always starting off with some dragon attacks. They have Moon as a really good dragon attacker and Dragon as a good dragon attacker. So they like to run this strategy, which are typically always going first. Let's see if that's going to be the case yet again. And we have, yep, there he is, Dragon coming in with the dragons on this base from Qian. And he is going in versus 1, 2, 3 expos to ground, actually. So that's interesting. Using a ton of spells for the sweeper. Now he's trying to take down the town hall with that rage together. That's interesting.
Oh, the expos are great to point out. Does he finish off the town hall? Finally. Looked like it was going to be a little bit close there. He gets the CC pull though. What's drawing your attention, Itsu?
Yeah, like, he had to rage the blimp because, like, typically this is a safe blimp. So you get into the town hall, and the cool thing about this clan castle is you always get the town hall no matter what. Like, whatever is there, you get the town hall. And with having, like, the blimp getting open so early, he had to invest the rage to make sure the town was going down. And then the small bonus were coming up. But we are already going ahead with those dragons early. Warden ability to cover everything. Nice rages to get into those 2 compartments. And now it's all about those dragons just overpowering the core of the space yet again to make sure that the backend is working. But the the attacking king already got taken down by this one super minion, which split up and took down the king, which is a huge tanking option for this queen. And at this point, it's going to be tricky to push through, especially with the scatter shot, with those air skeletons coming up as well and doing a lot of damage and distraction for those troops.
Stepped in with a forceful 5-finger drop, but Dragon is running out of firepower on the top edge of this base. If that single target Inferno holds, and it does, that is going to be the end of it. He is really having to send in everything he's got against it. He's already dropped 2 Dragon Riders, a Dragon, multiple 3 spells to take it out, and finally having to drop the Royal Champion is just seemingly like an overcommitment to me to have to finish that thing off. Slowed down now by the Tornado Trap. This is going to be a very difficult finish for him, but he does have some forces still left on the bottom side. One last Dragon to back up the 2 heroes that are charging on in. Royal Champion does go down, and that multi-target Inferno is just going to be so much to have to deal with, especially since he has to get through a bomb tower to get through over there. So Grand Warden, the last little bit of damage up top and a little bit of cleanup on the outer edge, made it almost all the way, but Nishang Dance are going to be left with just a 2-star on this strike. Congratulations to Qian, as his defenses will hold.
Yeah, and there's actually only a time fail because the Warden is staying alive, except there's some, like, I don't know, like Black Mines, whatever. But if that's not the case, the Warden can stay alive for pretty much whatever, like, for the entirety of the builder's hut range is too small to take down the Warden, except like the pathing is really strange. But either way, time is running out, and this means this attack is falling short. 90% 2-star, and that's an early defense. So KOG can get the advantage, the pressure onto the enemy team right early if they 3-star this next attack. And that's obviously like a big point. They first have to 3-star to create the pressure. So they have to do that first, and then they would be in a pretty good position.
Well, right, you are. Nishang Dance really making a statement with that first strike. So many swag spells to back it up, but not able to power through on the number 2. KOG with an opportunity to come back over the top and show us why they are so powerful, why they've made it to the quarterfinals, and why they have had consistent success. Multiple different hits here. congratulations to Chen on the defense, but they've got to do something with it. It opens up an opportunity, and if Nishang Dance's defenses are able to hold us just at the same, then we'll still be at a tied game to start things off with. So let's take a look at this base and see how Joy Chen is going to be approaching it. He's brought a hybrid army, the first that we've seen today. We've seen lots of Hog Riders in one attack, but Hogs and Miners together are going to be a different story. Of course, supporting it with a couple of heal spells and some rages to try to get them all the way through the base. It's 2 multi-target Infernos that are spread out that might give the most trouble to this hybrid setup. In addition to that, we're seeing 2 scatter shots that are also really far spread out at the bottom, right next to that Archer Queen, and on the right side, right next to a Royal Champion. That are going to be significant pressure points for Joy Chen to have to deal with.
Yeah, right now the worst thing which is happening, he's having like a split clan castle lure, which means the clan castle is coming out like 1 by 1 pretty much, which means he can't really use that freeze, because if he's investing the freeze, he does not know like if there are like 2 more witches in there, or like if there are super minions in there, where you typically want to have the poison actually invested. So he can't use the poison just yet. He had to delay it, that's what he did, and this is taking so much time. He's starting now the hybrid at 1 minute 50, which is quite early, but the Queen did not take down too much. Only 20% of this base has been taken down so far. The defending King is on the Queen as well. Now the hybrid is all about getting started. I mean, at the same time it's hybrid, it's not as crazy strong anymore and can overpower any base. So we really have to work on those spells and this timing. You have to be a little bit lucky with not facing too many spring traps, and so far I think he has not lost too many troops against spring traps.
Great pathing on the outer edge with that siege barracks, but it's drawing a few miners to the bottom edge, and they're not going directly for the Inferno Tower. That is the crucial target that they have to finish off early on. That's just so much splash damage. You see a few more Hogs popping out of that CC now, and they're finally going to get a chance to make their way over there, but he did lose 2 of them to that spring trap. As you noted, that can be a significant problem for those internal forces. Now, we do have a single target Inferno there for them to finish off later on, so they will get a little bit more time to focus in. But that is going to be maybe the last defense that will hold up in Fluxy's base, as Joy Chen has finally wrapped around the outer edge. It looks like time is not going to be an issue for him, as he still does have quite a few troops to clean up along the left side corner. But can he pierce into the middle and keep this Archer Queen on task? He's got a couple of spells to support, but that's not going to be enough to get him in there any quicker. He's just going to have to keep his fingers crossed that she can crack down those walls and finish off that last defense in the middle. I think he's got it, though, Itsu.
Yeah, this is looking really good. 20 seconds left, and there are so many miners going in and chasing on the last Inferno Tower with that Queen being through that wall as well. That's no problem whatsoever. A nice attack to make sure that they're getting the lead, and that was what I was talking about, getting the pressure on Monster. And when we saw the results earlier, 13-10, it feels like their win was never really pressured. So those teams are obviously doing different in like closer matches, or even matches where they're falling behind. So let's see how they can handle this and how they can come out on top, or maybe they're going to fall versus KOG. Either way, both teams, it's super important for them to get this win, to climb up even higher in the points, in the standings. And so far, KOG is doing a great job doing exactly that, what they have to do to stay inside this and stay, inside the possibility of actually getting to the playoffs and just the top 4 of the leaderboards.
Well, with 24 points, Nishang Dance might have just enough already to get to the playoffs, but this is certainly a do-or-die moment for KOG. They have to get the win here and get even further in this final week of point accumulation if they want to get to that playoff spot. $20,000 on the line in this event overall, and most of it awarded at the playoffs stage in a couple of weeks. We hope that if you have not qualified yet this week, that you will get a chance next week with the Open Qualifiers, the last chance event where 4 more teams will qualify for the playoffs. Be sure to register for Clash Masters if you think you've got what it takes to go toe-to-toe with the best you see here. Lei will be the next striker for Nishang Dance, going up against the base built by UZP. We see a wide spread here for this P.E.K.K.A. smash attack, but interestingly, he's brought a Dragon Rider to support from the skies. What do you think is in his mind for planning this attack, Itsu?
That's a really good question. Maybe he's sending it in somewhere to snipe something, maybe the eagle or something, but with having the air defense over there as well, it's not Warden, wait a second, his Warden ability went off, and I don't know what exactly is going on, but something did not go as planned. Like, everything is falling apart. He has no Warden ability left at this point anymore. He used the Siege Barracks, which means he has nothing to secure the Town Hall. And with this air defense at the top side not going down, I feel like this is where the Dragon Rider was supposed to come in. It's not going to be easy. So his troops are pushing through the Royal Chamber from the top side, so he's feeling safe that he's getting down the Town Hall. But still, there's a lot of things still left. The defending queen is shooting at his own queen, using the queen ability to keep her alive. And where did he actually use that Dragon Rider? Where did he use that?
I don't know either, and I don't see it up on the field right now. An uncautious double tap with that Warden ability, but we've seen armies get success before holding on to hero abilities until the very end and dropping them as just swag, and it looks like that's going to be the case for Lei as well. Didn't even really get very much value out of it, but with a perfect plathing and a beautiful entry point from the top left, he has made a complete sweep of everything in this space and will get a clean 3-star finish. I don't even know if he lost a single P.E.K.K.A there. 3 of them still up and marching toward victory in the final moments here. Nishang Dance might have missed out on their second hit, but the third round in that chamber fires off hard for the triple to get them up to a total of 8 stars and keeping KOG's feet to the fire.
Yeah, that was a really impressive attack. Even if things are going wrong, he was able to save this. The plan overall was a beautiful plan. Nice Royal Chamber usage overall, because there was not too much damage, and the Royal Chamber was able to take down the majority of that far side. And then the pathing just was beautiful for his P.E.K.K.A smash, really nicely done. The Warden, still a little bit like an oopsie, making sure that the Warden ability is getting used early, but maybe there was some sort of a pre-swag. We don't know. Whoever we want to put it, a nice 3-star to get like a chance of a comeback. But KOG is next yet again, and they have everything in their own hands. If they're going to keep 3-starring, they are going to win. But that's easier said than done, because first off, they need to do that. And I mean, even though 3-starring looks easy when those pros are doing it, it is not that easy, to be honest. So there are always things that couldn't go wrong. So let's see if that's going to happen to KOG, or if everything is going flawless.
Yeah, this has really been an upset so far. If you ask me, I think Nishang Dance is one of the best base building squads in this lineup, and for KOG to have been able to knock them down twice in a row with 3 stars really speaks to the fact that they prepared well for this war. They had great plans entering into those attacks. But Nishang Dance, despite the slip up in attack number 2, still hold an impressive 96.7% average destruction from their 3 starting hits, and might wind up in the same position that VN Champions saw themselves in from round number 1, where they were behind a little bit early on, but off of the backs of their impressive finishes, despite missing a star or 2 here or there, still found victory in the end. This is a marathon and not a sprint, so they are really high-minded and keeping their sights toward future attacks, just holding off as best they can with the mid-game here now. Starting off with Shen for KOG. He's going to get a crack into the bottom compartment and an easy stab at that Town Hall to claim for the first one. Interestingly, though, he dropped a Lava Hound in that battle blimp, so gives him a little bit more cushioning for that strike. Why did he put a Lava Hound in there, Itsu?
Yeah, so in front of the town, there's no possibility of like having any traps whatsoever, and 5 sneaky goblins always take down the town hall. So there is no reason to put anything else in there, and like loons or any other troop would actually get knocked down by the town hall poison. So what he did there, he used the Lava Hound to trigger any additional traps which he could get. So this at this point was all about like just finding some traps which he can trigger early on, because he does not need the other spec like troop capacity from this blimp, because the sneaky goblins will always take down the town. So really smart move over there, making sure that he's getting the most out of that blimp without really like overkilling the town hall pretty much. And now he's starting off with his dragons. He knows already there's no more black mines in the early stages of this attack, so he knows he can delay the warden ability just a little bit to take down or like tank those black mines which are deeper inside the base. At the same time, he's starting off with his king and his queen at the top left. There's the warden ability. So far, not too many black mines were covered by this warden tome. So this might be a bigger problem moving on later, because there's now the double air defense shooting at those dragons. They're dying quick.
This is a giant problem for Chin. I think he really overestimated the strength of his offense on the entry point, because all of his dragons now have just evaporated. Multi-target Infernos burning through every attacking force, and the centralized air defenses have just dropped them out of the sky one by one, picking them off. Chien is just going to be left with maybe the lowest percentage on any attack that we've seen so far today, in the 2-star range now at 69%. Wow. Nice showing, but that is not going to be enough to cut it against Nishang Dance. And that was the opening that Nishang Dance were really looking for. They're a monster getting the defensive pickup here with a great setup against an aerial attack. Finds exactly what he was looking for. He lays the trap and springs it against KOG. We now see Nishang Dance pulling ahead with an impressive 7% pickup on the overall destruction race. And any single triple that they get after this point is going to be a very difficult hurdle for KOG to climb.
Yeah, this defense already, as you said, is the best defense which we have seen today so far. So this is already speaking for its own. So having this defense on this, oh yeah, okay, this the best 2-star which we have seen so far defensive wise. That's right, I forgot about the 1-star, to be honest, but still really good defense right there. And this is already in its own, maybe even a game deciding factor, because not only it's a 2-star, but as well with this low percentage, it's always based on stars. If it's a tie, it's always a win for Monster, except they're doing something crazy now on offense as well, where it's like a really low percentage attack. But this percentage is a huge thing in the current meta when you can defend on that. And I don't know what he was thinking, like going in against the base with so many core air defenses, which are designed to defend against this type of attack. So that was a really interesting move. And I mean, it did work out great for Moon and for Monster to run this base. So let's see if they can now, that's the important thing, make that work on offense. Because getting a good defense is one thing, but getting in the good offense and making use of that is the other. And we have Fluxy coming in with an incredible blimp, getting really far inside the base and playing a Blizzard over there. And take a look at that value. Taking down already a couple of buildings, taking down the clan castle next, and already took down nearly 15% of the base already taken down. And it's still, like, the percentage are still climbing.
Flashing lights all over the place. It's like a disco inferno. Those weren't party wizards in the blimp, but they sure put on a show. Nice job for Fluxy early on, taking a massive chomp out of the core of this base. And it's only 18% of the base, but that is a lot of big key defenses that had been finished off early on. He even managed to clip the town hall in the center there, so he activated it, and that might be good news for these balloons that are going to be coming in a little bit later on. They will get the chance to target directly onto it rather than having to wait for a little bit of chip damage to knock it apart. So we see heroes in the bottom corner now. They are going to be making a Sui dive straight in for that first star. Freeze spell is off to keep them safe from that single target Inferno, and they are making a hero's dive straight into it. We have got skeleton traps triggering off to try to slow them down. A tornado trap as well. That might be good news for later on when Fluxy gets his main force on this attack, but can he finish off the town hall? He's popping that queen ability, and there she goes, gets the lock and should drop it, Itsu.
Yeah, that's good news for him. Taking down the eagle early. The queen even takes down the air defense at that bottom side, which might be a game changer later on in this attack, where there's no back and air defense about this. And we have now the headhunters coming in. Great warding ability to keep everything alive, and the Lalo is just keep coming in. He's starting early from the right side with his Lalo just to make sure that something is getting pressured into the core of this base, because this scatter shot is staying up inside the core of this base, so he needs to be careful and needs to make sure that something is going in there. And with starting so early from the right side with the Lalo, he's pushing everything inside. This is just the beauty of Lalo. You have so much impact on your attack, and even though the loons are dropping, this is still looking pretty good, I think. With this back and Royal Champion, though, this might be a little bit scary, to be honest.
It's looking a bit tight here. He's got a World Champion taking a few shots now from the Electro Owl, which is insulated a bit from the outer edge. What is left to finish this thing off, though? He's just got minions and lava pups. And they're bombing explodes right in their face. The last best hope that Fluxy had to finish this thing off is now all splattered across the ground, drawn out by that defending Royal Champion. It seemed like it could have gone all the way. The distance had been closed, but the Tesla traps in the bottom left that the heroes had actually dodged early on wound up being the end of that strike. So a chance there for Nishong Dance to advance, but it is passed up completely, and KOG get another defensive win.
Yeah, I think the biggest problem for him right there was that he used the ward ability that early and pushed his main group of loons into the core, where typically all of the red mines are. So with having so many loons getting hit by like, I think 3 or 4 red mines, they were so low on hit points that they had no chance of like coming back or like having any chance against the last couple of defenses. So every single Tesla shot was like 1 loon down. So this was the main problem right there. And even though it looked really good in the beginning, maybe saving the warden ability would have been the best choice over there, even though it looked great taking down everything over there. But still, this warden ability, not saving it for the core, or maybe not, I think maybe he should have saved more loons for the back end of the base. Maybe that would have been the better choice, and not push that many loons into the core, because they had no chance of coming out of that with those nicely placed traps. So another defense for KOG, and even though they had a huge mess up in just the attack earlier, if they're still yet again going perfect, they're still going to win in this match, because Monster did not make it work. And we have the next attack now for KOG, and this is yet again a Dragon and Dragon Rider attack on this base of Dragon.
It really was just the traps, though, that saved KOG when it came down to it. All the air defenses had been knocked out, and it was just that final air bomb and those few Teslas to hold on to the last bit of base. KOG now with an opportunity to get even further ahead, trying to push their way to a star advantage now. With a triple here and now, they can do it. Dragons are spread on the bottom right side, and I'm seeing an impressive column of Infernos just along the center of this base, deeply spread out and difficult to reach. Always a problem for Dragons, whether they're set to single or multi. They burn up quickly, and that is going to be an Eternal Tome popped relatively early, but well protecting the Dragons who are making their way into the really gushy core of this base, dealing a ton of damage, trying to get them raged up, but the placement is a bit aggressive here from Tad. What do you think, Itsu?
I think it's, yeah, as you said, those core air defenses right now, which a lot of people are using in those Legend-style bases, it's not easy to overcome them with those Dragon-based attacks. Those air defenses deep in the core, they make the life of those Dragons really miserable, and that's exactly what we're seeing right now. The heroes now have to do the entirety of the cleanup. He has no spells left. The back-end air defense is taking down the Warden. Royal Champion ability to take down the next couple of buildings, but can the Royal Champion deal even more damage and take down the Scatter? That's the big question. The Queen has her ability left. It's 1 minute left, so time should be no problem, I think. But with that Royal Champion staying up for a little bit longer, it should be still doable for that Queen with her ability. He has still the Queen ability with that one Archer. This is still looking really good.
Yeah, it's going to take a long time for her to get through those walls, and I think she might lose all of the support troops that are out in front of her, but she has got just enough to insulate for the final blow here. That air defense could have been scary if it had been almost any other defensive building, but not able to shoot at that Queen. She will make it past these walls and will get the final shot in here. Tad from KOG pops the ability and will knock down that last little platform. A 3-star from KOG pulls them into the lead with 11 up against Nishong Dance, who are now in the fight of their lives to try to make it into the semifinals. Nishong Dance, a squad widely expected to be able to make it to the playoffs just based on their performance so far this week with 24 points already. That is probably going to be enough to be in the top 4, but KOG finding their stride toward the end here now. If they pick up this match and the next one and make it into the finals, that could be enough to get them into the top 4. So they are really fighting with everything on the line and finally finding the edge that they had sought. A 10-11 scoreline now in KOG's favor with just one attack for each clan, Itsu.
Yeah, it's going to be intense. It's going to be an intense finish for sure. We have Monster now coming in with their last attack next. We have LP in. We can watch this attack with the Queen Charge Dragon Riders. It's 4 Dragon Riders only, but it's LP, one of the best Queen Chargers out there. So let's see what he's coming up with. What is the plan? What is the approach? Wall breaking early, placing the healers, and getting that Queen Charge under. Which is she going? Yeah, she is going inside. I was a bit afraid of this Elixir Collector on the 9 o'clock side, but she is going inside into the base. This is looking like a solid Queen Charge, being able to reach that multi-phone tower in the corner. Maybe that's a bait though, because this Queen Charge might look too obvious for this base overall. Let's see.
Some ferocious defense against the finale fireworks launched by LP. He sent in a battle blimp in on the bottom corner, manages to get the Eagle Artillery, but finds a couple of Teslas down there too, popping up in a farm, and they're going to be able to knock out some of the offensive troops that may have been intended to get a little bit more damage done in that bottom compartment. Nonetheless, this Queen is charging in relatively deep and gets some great cracking support from those super wall breakers, finding another compartment to get her bow to lock onto. There's another multi-target Inferno in there, and really just one left standing over in the right side corner that he's going to have to deal with now. It's going to be Dragon Riders starting probably soon. Wants to get them in as quickly as possible as soon as he's got the damage done on the outer edges. And I'm really just seeing one single air defense to try to keep this base up. LP, a world champion from previous events, is not going to disappoint as the last attacker for Nishong Dance, looking to get that 13-star finish and really force KOG to give it everything they've got for their final strike. He drops an early Eternal Tome on this Warden and is making a charge to the bottom side. Has he got it in him, Mitsu?
That's the big question. There are a lot of traps coming up, and this backhand scatter is still looking strong. But with 4 Dragon Riders left alive, I mean, we know how strong those Dragon Riders are, and especially how tanky they are. The Queen is staying alive as well, being able to take down the last couple of things. And take a look at his spells still left. He has 1 Rage, he has an Invisibility spell, and 4 freezes not even placed that yet. So this is like an LP special, going to swag them all. And actually, I remember this base. I think this was a part of the alternate challenge back then, and the base did pretty good. There's the freeze rain right there onto the base. Yeah, this base did not work out versus LP on this day. So really good job to him getting it done. And this means it's now back to KOG. KOG, if they 3-star, they're going to win. If they're not going to 3-star, they are out. And out of the chances of climbing in the leaderboards, that's over as well.
Well, good grits and gravy. What a finish. That has got to be the record for swag spells so far today. And maybe for most attacks that I've seen recently, anyone but LP dropping 7 spell capacity at the very end, not even perturbed by holding on to so much of an offensive caseload there. I can't believe really that he's able to come in as the clutch attacker when his team is behind and get such an overwhelming drop. So congratulations to Nishong Dance on their performance. 13 stars, a little bit lower than we had seen from them in the past, but might just be enough to get the win over KOG. Their defenses have to hold though. A win from KOG here will send them on to the semis. It's all come down to this, Itsu. The last attack of the war will be a decisive one. Can Nishong Dance guarantee their playoff shot with a win here, or will KOG still have a little bit of gas left in the tank? Some more fuel for the fire.
Yeah, that's the big question. I mean, so far they've done an amazing job, except this one base where they went in with air versus like this air defense heavy core. So let's see if there's going to be yet again another base in that style, or if it's going to be a base which they can easily overpower. And Lei is okay using this base against UZP, so I'm really looking forward to see how this base defends. If it's defense, it's my base, by the way. If it's getting 3-star, it's not my base. I've never seen it before, okay? Let's put it like this.
Well, this is a terrifying position to be in for UZP. He knows that it is all up to him. This final attack of the war is the decisive one. relatively spread out and difficult to lock onto here, but he's got the log launcher to keep this queen on task. Knocks down one air defense and should have an easy shot at a second one, as well as a scatter shot. This is a great charge in from this queen with nothing really to threaten the healers on the back end. Gets the CC pull. Can she knock down the scatter shot before engaging? No, she doesn't. So that's going to be some additional damage that she'll have to deal with here, but shouldn't be too much for her to have to handle.
Yeah, the Lockdown's doing a great job of keeping that queen on track, providing some great pathing into the direction of that Town Hall. The King, though, trying to force him inside the compartment, but he's not going in. He's not going in. The first couple of red bombs are getting triggered on the far right side, and it's going right into that Tesla farm. The Queen, though, is stuck on the first couple of skeleton traps right there. The King did not walk inside, which is obviously a huge deal. First couple of black mines are connecting towards those Dragon Riders. There's the vulnerability blocking the entirety of those eagle shots, but the back end is still looking scary. He has no more rages left to use on his queen. This queen still needs to take down the tower. This is still like really important to take it down. But so far the back end is still looking strong. And visibility is beyond the Royal Chamber. The Royal Chamber is going down. Woody, I don't know if that's looking good for him.
I can't say either. He's wavering a bit on the last legs here. Just one Dragon Rider on the bottom and one to support up top with the Queen. He drops an invisibility spell, but it's not going to be able to protect that Dragon Rider. He goes down, and this is going to be the last strike. It's all come down to this. The final hopes of KOG. Can they surmount this last obstacle? Nishang Dance's defense is finally cracking as the second star is claimed. A queen has got 9% left to finish off this base to get the win. KOG marching onwards. Nishang Dance drops a bomb. The double giant bomb has ended KOG's hopes. The last shot they had at going on comes down to the traps in the end. The explosive firepower, just the last thing that KOG was hoping to see. And with that, it seemed like they were all within reach. The last hopes of KOG. 4 more buildings left to finish, but they couldn't get it done, Itsu.
I mean, all I can say is Itsu base is OP. I don't know why Fluxy shared with Play, but hey, at least my base defended, and it was actually a game changer right there. I don't mind, whatever. Attack looked good, but either way, base is holding strong. No problem whatsoever, but at least it's burnt now. Damn it. Either way, GG's to both teams. That was a crazy intense match right there, and a really close one as well. Decided by one last defense at the end.
Yeah, it is always a thrill and a pleasure to be able to cast a match that goes down to the last seconds of the last attack in such a tight war. Nishang Dance have ensured with this victory that they will be moving on to the playoffs, and ultimately KOG will have to have their hopes held out for the last chance qualifier. We hope that all of you out there will get a chance to register if you think that you've got what it takes to go toe-to-toe with these teams. But before we head to a break, I do want to remind you all to check out the ClashMSTRS Twitter and Instagram pages. We have a merch box giveaway live right now, and you can get a chance to win a share of the prize yourself. Some great Clash swag up for grabs. So head on over to the ClashMSTRS Twitter or Instagram page to learn more details on that.
That's right. Make sure to check those out. And I think we're going to go into a really short break because the next match which is coming up is going to be crazy. RTK versus Alternate coming up next. So don't go anywhere. We're going to be back in just a couple of minutes.
Welcome back to the explosive conclusion of today's Clash Masters qualifier. This is the last week of qualification for the playoffs in what is a $20,000 event for this month. My name's Woody, and I'm glad to be joined by Itsu. Itsu, what are you looking forward to most in this fourth and final war of the day?
I think this next match, to be honest, is the most about can Alternate get into the next round. Because if they can make it into the next round, this would mean they're getting the next step of points, which are going to be important for the leaderboards. And that's why I think we should just jump right into the leaderboards. They're updated. So let's take a look at that. And we can see right now, Nishang Dance at this point pretty much already guaranteed a spot in their top 4. Obviously, Queen Walkers as well. And MCS is dropped down at the same time. Alternate. They now have the chance of pushing into the top 4. They can replace HD Family in there with winning that next round, and that's actually important for them. Like, this is a situation where I feel like I have not seen Alternate often in, because they typically always are the first team to qualify. They're like pretty much always the favorites. So this time around, though, they need to win this next round to get the points needed to make it into the top 4, which is important later on moving into the playoffs. So a lot of things on the line. For RTK, obviously, it's a lot of on the line because, hey, there is some prize money as well for those playoffs. It's not only about the points. So this is important to mention as well because, I mean, it's not bad. $1,500 for the first prize, for the first seed. It's not too bad overall either.
Yeah, certainly not. But the playoffs have got the lion's share of that prize pool still up for grabs. And Alternate Attacks, a world championship squad, getting that first qualification for this year's Worlds, the golden ticket early on this year, has had their opportunity to kind of relax, hold off a bit. But they are not taking it. They are training hard. They are trying to stay at the top of their game, and competing in a grand community event like the one you see here with Clash Masters is the perfect way to stay on top. But they're not there yet. They need another victory this week to get enough points to move on, as you noted there. On the other side, though, Space Station Gaming, currently sitting in the top 3, did not advance this weekend for qualification points and are just trying to hold on with what they've got. So really, if you're a fan of Space Station, you're probably rooting for RTK in this next matchup, hoping that they can hold Alternate Attacks at bay and prevent them from moving on. I gotta say, though, the balance of probabilities is certainly tilted toward Alternate Attacks. Itsu, there have been 3 wars so far this weekend for Alternate Attacks. They faced off against S8UL, they faced off against NON, and Tompanai Empire. All 3 times, Alternate Attacks have had perfect 15-star wars. Let's see if Ast can keep that momentum going and get the first victory over Sincere Prayer. Oh, never mind. Ast is defending. Scratch that. Sincere Prayer will be the first attacker for R2K.
Yeah, but still, like, 15 wars back to back to back, pretty much. That's impressive. But either way, as you said, defense first. He's starting off from the complete opposite side of that town hall to go in there, and there's the blimp. He's not even trying to catch that blimp inside the warden ability. That man is like crazy. The blimp is flying. Any black mines at this point can just easily take it down. The super minions are shooting at it as well, but there are no black mines whatsoever. So this blimp is reaching its target, taking down the town hall. That's the majority, like that's the main objective for this blimp, and now it's all about the back end, but there are not too many point defenses left, and the Royal Champions having a great day of picking off the last remaining defenses. And there's a Rocket Loon coming off the Clan Castle. Is there another one in there? That's the question.
I do wonder, but I think that at the end of the day, it's not going to matter a whole lot. Still so much firepower left to knock through what remains of this base. The quickest hit we've seen so far today, and Sincere Prayer is sending an intense message to Alternate Attacks with not even a minute and 30 spent on this hit. A 3-star strike in lightning fast fashion. Dragon Riders and the Inferno Dragon soaring through up top to burn through the whole entirety of that base. A 3-star beginning for RTK against Alternate Attacks. They're certainly going to need it, though, against a squad that's put up perfect wars 3 times in a row. They are looking for the quadfecta at this point.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's only the question, like, if there's at some point not a perfect war for alternate. So let's see what is about to happen. But at the same time, for me, it's always a question, getting back to the tech, which we just have seen. It's always the question, what is better? We see so many combinations with like dragons and dragon riders. Then we see sometimes inferno dragons and dragon riders. It's a lot of different combinations out there, which are really powerful right now. I have to say, I'm a little bit like tending towards this Inferno Dragon and Dragon Rider combination because it looks so powerful. As you just said, their base was wrecked in record time, like just getting rid of that town and then the dragons and the Inferno Dragons and Dragon Riders just went through. That looked so easy. So that was quite an impressive first attack for our team. Maybe they have the chance of actually giving Alternate the challenge in this matchup.
Yeah, blink and you miss it. That attack was certainly more of a strategic pickup than any sort of tactical victory. He read the base perfectly, dropped everything as quick as he could, and there's a lot to say about having everything on the battlefield. You know, we love these like multi-stage attacks where you send in the queen charge and you get a battle blend from another angle and like you're kind of picking apart the base. It's fun to see that sort of complicated sort of hit. But the other side of that is just having everything on the board at once. You get to have maximum firepower at your disposal. If you get good placement on your spells, you can get so many troops inside there all at once. And that's exactly what we saw from the first hit by RTK. So congratulations to them, showing a different style of Clash of Clans attacking gameplay there, but really giving us a great lesson in offense no matter what. It's back to alternate attacks now where they will have their first say in this war.
Yeah, that's right. And it's going to be interesting to see if they can keep up the momentum, if they can keep up the pressure. We saw a couple of teams today which had not the best first attacks, and this then obviously is not too easy to come back from over the match. So let's hope that both teams are starting strong and we haven't going to be, well, we have, yeah, a crazy finish. And we have this next attack coming in, and Vale is doing some lightnings right there. Combination with the Hydra, the attack strategy, which we know is so good at the moment. But he is one of the first to attack with the lightnings with this attack combination. So looking forward to see how this is going to work out. If that's a good combination to maybe try out as well. If that's actually not that strong overall. Either way, the push so far into the town hall, into the flank of the town looks good. There is the blimp coming in, and he is delaying the vulnerability as long as possible. There is the vulnerability coming in. Air defense should be taken down as soon at the top left corner. Now the town hall has to go down as well with no sweeper pointing in that direction. That should be no problem for this Inferno Dragon inside the clan castle. And this Inferno Tower in the core should be taken down soon as well. This is looking really good, Woody.
Yeah, hot and heavy rage right there in the center, getting maximum value as the troops are spreading all the way throughout and targeting onto many different high-value defensive structures. Still seeing a couple of air defenses on the outer edges, though, and those could be problems here for the Dragon Riders, which have been picked apart throughout the mid. Volley was going super hard early on, but I don't know if he got enough damage done early on to get the triple here at the end. Let's give him some credit, though, because he still is holding on to a Royal Champion. That is going to be a lot of firepower to back up the last legs of this strike. 2 more free spells hanging on, and it is not going to be an easy defense here for Sincere Prayer. He got a great strike to start things off, but Vale is going to give it his... Oh, what another giant bomb explosion on the right corner, though. I'm starting to get a bit worried for this Royal Champion, Itsu.
Yeah, the Royal Champion not having the best day, but at the same time with the back and rocket loons, making sure that he's getting everything down. And I don't know if that was planned, to be honest, but he even is bringing the back and super wall breaker. Vale, what is their plan? Like, knowing that the king is going to do a 360, it feels like, around the base, and is getting the wall breaker in as well. That was some genius planning right there, and this means also it is tying things up again. And for RTK, it feels like, okay, let's go back to 0 and let's try it yet again to get a lead against the alternate squad, which is not an easy task at all.
No, that king dashed a disorienting distance, spreading all out and around, but Vale had a great read, as he almost always does with these attacks. The perfect war possibility still on the board there for alternate, but RTK you know, happy as they may have been with their first win, are going to have to keep going toe-to-toe against a world championship squad. That first offensive victory looked like they might have been able to get a defensive pickup in round 2, but not going to cut it this time. Alternate always seems to find a way. They've always got an ace up their sleeve, holding on to hero abilities toward the end stage of that strike just to make sure they had it right when they needed it most. Congrats to Vale, and on to round 2.
Yeah, on to round 2. Everything is getting reset back to 0 pretty much because both teams got those 3 stars in. So it's back for RTK to maybe get a lead, or maybe it's yet again back to 0 depending on the next 2 attacks. But we have the next RTK attack coming up next soon. And well, so far they used the air. Let's see. I mean, KOG, for example, used a lot of air strategies as well with the dragons and dragon riders and inferno dragons overall. And so far, both teams in this match as well used dragons in different combinations with the lightning, for example. But at the same time, still looking forward to see what is happening next. Because as well, we saw so many Lalo attacks recently from those top teams. For example, Queen Walkers. We used to remember of those crazy Lalo attacks from Queen Walkers. So let's see if they're coming up with this as well. But instead, we're having a Queen Charge Hawk Rider. Okay, this is going completely different than what I expected. And I like it so far. Queen Charge Hawk Riders. Here we go.
Yeah, we'd only seen a Hog Rider focused army one time before, and I am trying to recall if it was a 3-star. I think that it was not. So maybe Seohyun is going to be able to show us how this attack is meant to be played. He's got his heroes set up on the bottom right side of the space, and he's going to be jumping them in to a central compartment. Gets the CC pull as well, and it's just going to be a Lava Hound to try to slow things down a bit here. Pops out, and the Queen will have no trouble knocking it down. King ability is activated, and the Iron Fist will pulverize that scatter shot and get another couple compartments finished off. Keep an eye on the spell count, though, because these Hogs certainly need a lot of healing to keep them topped off. There's only one heal spell here in his compartment, so he is really going to have to commit a lot of offense early on to get the opening salvo out of the way. A scatter shot still in the top compartment, and 2 multi-target infernos are all 3 going to be really difficult for Hogs to deal with, Itsu.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy, and the pathing isn't that easy either. Going to use the wall break. Wait a second. He's going to send sneaky goblins into the tunnel, but at this point needs to be careful. The healers are getting targeted by this tunnel. Needs to be hurrying up with those sneaky goblins to take that out. Needs to be careful as well with that Queen using the invisibility spell, but the Queen is taking a lot of damage. The Eagle is targeting those healers, and this means those healers have not a great day at all because they're going to be getting shot at, and there they go. 1 healer left. That's not a lot of healers considering that the Queen is taking right now an Expo. So let's see how those Hogs are doing. The first Hogs are flying. With that Warden ability, they should stay a little bit longer alive for now at least.
He's holding on to 4 more Hogs to add a little bit more support toward the end, but the Eternal Tome has ticked off now, and he's finally having to get out against that Eagle artillery in the back. Was he planning on having enough firepower to get through 4 additional Teslas in that last compartment? He is doing his best to hammer away at this last line, but can he get the job done with 38 seconds left? I think he's going to have to hope beyond hope that the cleanup is gonna be good. 1 last cannon finally gets exploded thanks to the tiny little bit of health left on that headhunter, and he might just have done it. This is gonna be coming out by the skin of his teeth, but he has taken a big chomp and he is gonna rip it apart. Congratulations to Seohyun. He does manage to get the Hog Rider 3-star strike that we had been hoping and waiting for all day today.
That was such a cool attack, even though he had really bad luck, and you have to say that with those Eagle shots, he still made that work. That was really impressive. Queen Charge Hawk Riders is not a strategy which we typically see, so pulling that off in such an important match is really impressive. So good job to him, keeping his head cool and making sure that this attack is going flawless for the result at the end. So really good job, and now I'm looking forward to see if Orton are going to use some different strategies as well. I know that they really liked the mass, I think it was the mass Dragon Rider attack strategy in the first qualifier of the Clash Masters. So let's see if they're going to repeat that, or if they're if the strategies which they like changed over the last 2 weeks, that might obviously be the case as well. So looking forward to see what strategy they're coming up with and how that's obviously going to work, because seeing Queen Charge Hawk Rider work is something really uncommon, but I love it. I love seeing the variety, and I hope that we're going to see some more different strategies next.
Yeah, it has seemed like for a while now, the only 2 attacks that we see are either from the skies or a P.E.K.K.A. Smash on the ground. You know, Hybrid had fallen out of favor, I'd say, over the past few months, and Hog Riders, as an even more offensive version of running Hybrid, had certainly run into trouble. But every once in a while, you find the sort of base that is shaped up just enough to give an inroad there, especially when you've got Expos that are targeting air, the predominant strength in this meta right now. You get a chance to run that through. But with 3 of those Expos, or maybe, is that all 4 set to ground? I can't quite tell. The Dragons here are going to get asked an opportunity to breathe fire from above.
Yeah, and a really, really strong move right in the beginning, taking down the Clan Castle and the Scatter with the Skelly Donut, with the invisibility spell, sorry, and the skeleton spells, making sure that he's taking down all of this. And yes, there's only 1 Expo set to air, so this is looking really good pathing-wise already as well. Taking down the Town Hall, which is a huge, huge thing already from the early stages. And still having Queen, having the King, having everything still left. This attack already is looking really, really good. And taking down the Clan Castle nice and early gives him the power of delaying the Warden ability even longer. There's now King and Queen pushing everything back inside. He has 1 Rocket Loon for the backhand for something to snipe that out. And there's the Warden ability to cover as many different buildings as possible. The first couple of blocks are getting triggered and getting blocked by this Warden ability. And this so far is looking crazy strong for us.
Oh yeah, smashes through a huge wave of defensive over on the right side, and then the Dragon Riders peel off for their own little duet over there on the left. Cracks through another couple defenses and doesn't find any really big targets to knock down, but he has still got a really impressive battalion of dragons soaring through up top to get some more big targets knocked down. Scattershot is kind of failing to connect with the splash damage out back, but the last big targets here are going to be that multi-target Inferno and the air defense. With that 4th and final air defense down, it's all up to the last remaining troops to just try to kind of power through the last wave here. No more walls to really have to worry about. It's just kind of threading the needle through these last remaining walls and popping off those last 2 abilities. But this looks like clear and above a 3-star, easy to call for Est.
Yeah, that was such a clean attack. It is not easy to pull off those Skelly Donuts. Like, 1 tile off and you're completely messing up the invisibility spell. So really nicely done to him. And yeah, we're back to 0. Back to all tied up again. Both teams are getting those 3 stars in and making sure none of those teams are getting a lead, because both of them are going perfect so far. This match so far is looking crazy, but I think the last couple of matches, the 3rd attack was where we saw the most teams start struggling. So let's see if that's going to be the case in this match as well, because at this point, both teams are going perfect. The majority of the attacks so far were dragons, but 1 Queen Charge Hawk Rider attack, which was really cool to watch as well. So RGK, maybe they're bringing something creative yet again, or they're going back to the dragons.
Yeah, and you make a good point about past being Prelude. We see in War 3, in fact, Nishang Dance with a better standing in the rankings overall over KOG, kind of falling behind a little bit early on and getting to kind of a close war. Same thing for VN Champions, especially, even more so. Falling behind, not really getting a decisive win over Sky Stars in the first few attacks, but going the distance overall, finding their stride in attack number 3, picking up a defense in number 4, and then ultimately winning it in the end. And it really does make a lot of sense if you're planning out which attacks you want to go first, to go for those hits that you feel more confident you'll be able to grab the 3 stars from early on. Trying to get that psychological advantage, picking up the hits where you find them and trying to put your opponents in an awkward position for the late game. That hasn't really happened yet with either of these clans so far, both of them picking up perfect 3-star strikes in all 4 attacks that we've seen. But will Noob be able to keep that momentum going. He's going to be starting off with the queen charge in the top right corner, raging it up against this scatter shot just to try to get it in as quick and as heavy as possible. But we'll be following up with a single Lava Hound to support the 18 balloons in tow. He's got almost every spell in the book that he's going to be throwing at this base with a jump to try to get this queen over maybe one last hurdle. What's standing out to you as this attack is starting to shape up, Itsu?
I think the most important thing at this point is the timing with the king. He needs to wait for the clan caster to be completely lured, or at least the queen is going the correct way. And there's a lot of damage on that queen right now. A nice freeze, keeping her alive. And then any second now we can see that jump into the core of this base. And the cool thing about this, we're always talking about this, but one of the most important things when attacking with Lado is taking down the sweepers. With Queen Charge Lado, you do not have that many spells which you can invest into the Lado, and Loons versus a sweeper, trust me, that's not the nicest combination for your Loons. So the queen being able to reach all of those sweepers is key in this one, or at least the deciding sweeper which is pointing into that direction. At this point it is looking yet again really strong. The queen can use her ability to stay alive. The defending queen though, she needs to go down because she is dealing a lot of damage. The stammer is getting open, and there's a dragon in there to take down the defending queen. And now the pathing, because this defending multi-inferno tower might be a big problem. The NATO, as you said, this is looking, I don't know, the wizard tower. What do you think?
No. I mean, he might still be able to do it even with just the heroes in here, but those balloons are just going to get absolutely cooked and fried, popping one by one. There were something like 24 of them, but that multi-target Inferno had so much time to handle them. A bit of a sweat moment there for Noob, but I think, like I said, he still has a lot left for cleanup in addition to those balloons. It's going to be up to the Grand Warden to try to get the final blow in, but what is this? It's wandered into Archer Tower range, and he is just giving up free damage to the defenses. What seemed like it might have been able to pull off the victory is gonna actually fall apart after all, and Noob's defenses have fallen. Yo-Yo23, the Lava Hound Master, says, I can send it out and I know how to defend against it. He keeps them at bay with a 2-star 98%. RTK have missed their mark.
That was such an unfortunate ending. The NATO right there was such a key thing, keeping everything inside the range of the Wizard Tower and of the Multi-Inferno Tower. Those two things just melted through those loons and there was no chance at all. And then in addition to that, I think all of the red bombs in the core took down the healers of the Queen, which means the Queen had no chance of surviving. This base was perfectly designed, and I mean, at the end of the day, it's a defense, even though it's close, but hey, it is a defense, and this right now is key. And this means Alten at this point, they can get the first lead in this match. We were talking about it actually with the third attack being the attack, which might be one of the most important in this tournament. So far, most of the teams failed until this stage. And it seems like for RTK, it's going to be the same. Let's see if Boom can overcome this curse and make it work with the Zap Lalo strategy onto this base of Noob. Now the other way around, and this base looks really interesting. He's trying to funnel his king into the scatter compartment. Is the king going to go in there? It looks like it. The Royal Champion is going to help him, and then we're going to see this queen dive into the tunnel compartment. This is looking as an entry really good, but he needs to be careful with that defending clan castle coming out as well, Woody.
Yeah, anytime you have a dive like this, you are committing a lot of resources to try to get one thing accomplished, hoping to beat the clock, essentially, because that queen is eventually going to go down. There's no healers to support her, but with that town hall cracked and with a massive strike on the bottom left side of the space as well, Boom is shaping up the defenses perfectly for this Law Loon strike to follow up. He really has like almost taken out half of the base already with this early hit. Now he is not going to go for that Eagle artillery early on. Instead, it's going to allow it to target onto the Lava Hound and try to get a few shots off. But as long as he can prevent big splash damage on the loons themselves, he will be cleared for landing. Gets the free spell off in the mid multi-target Inferno, and with a couple of more spells to support, goes in hot and heavy, fast and rapid, striking at the heart of the base and taking out defenses left and right. This is a wide spread from Boom, but he is dropping the bombs hard. This is going to be a 3-star, Itsu.
Yeah, that's right. Boom is doing it and showing how easy Lalo can look like. That was such a beauty of an attack. Really nicely done by him. And it's impressing me every single time, and it's so enjoyable to watch those Lalo attacks. They look so skilled. You know how hard they are, and seriously, those pros make it look so easy. And yeah, alternate getting their lead, as we kind of predicted after that fail, to be honest. But hey, I mean, uh, alternate are looking good, like the another perfect on their road so far in this qualifier, and that is quite impressive. I mean, yes, offense heavy meta, I understand it, totally agree. But perfect after perfect after perfect, and then maybe another perfect, that's scary. That's really scary.
Yeah, I mean, even if you had like a 90% hit rate, eventually you're going to slip and stumble. But alternate attacks have now had 5 hits in 3 previous wars, plus the 3 in this war. That's 18 attacks so far, and all of them have been 3 stars. ClashMSTRS has a clear and obvious favorite, in my opinion, right now. Alternate attacks are ascendant right now, and this weekend is certainly seeing them give it their all to make their shot toward the semifinals. Advancement here is crucial for them to get those leaderboard points to move up and ahead over Space Station. They've already taken the step over MCES, so big foes stand in their way, but time and again, they are taking them down. Alternate attacks moving up once again, Itsu.
Yeah, that's so impressive every single time. But I cannot wait for the next attack of RTK, because I have to say they were super creative so far, and that's something which is really impressive to watch. Obviously as well, like I love to watch the Queen Charge Hawk Rider attack, for example, which they just did, and then just falling a little bit short with the Queen Charge Lalo, which looked really strong, and then just this one nado, this one key nado placed from Jojo, just messed up everything. And so let's see what RTK is coming up with the next. They used so far 3 different strategies, so looking forward to see what is next. And we have yet again another strategy. This time around though, it is Queen Charge Dragon Riders.
I do appreciate the artistry, the creativity, being able to bring an off-meta attack and get so far against a base, but there's something impressive just about the firepower that alternate attacks brings. You know, I heard a quote from Napoleon about war that quantity has a quality of its own. So just being able to put up so much damage time and time again, so reliably, makes alternate attacks a terrifying foe to stand up against. We're going to see if Paris has it in him, though. The RTK attacker now moving in hard and fast with this Queen Charge in the right corner. She has taken a lot of damage, but spell support will keep her nice and topped off, as the healers have had a little bit more time now to do what they do best. Barbarian King Charge in the top right compartment, though, looks like it might have missed the Eagle Artillery, Itsu.
Yeah, I think the Royal Champion lured away that King, which means the Eagle is now activated. So he has to send a couple of loons over there to keep it alive. There's a lot of damage on that Queen. There are the Eagle shots. The healers are keeping her alive for now. The Queen has to get that tower. Now the Eagle is targeting those healers. Invisibility spell is not blocking those shots. They're still going through. You have to freeze that Eagle. Last shot is missing, but still he has to take that Eagle out. It's really important. And with this scatter, that might be scary. If it's damaging some walls which the Queen can reach, the Queen might get distracted, but she's coming back towards that super minion and should go around towards that town, which means the tower should be taken down at some point. But we have still the Dragon Riders going against that sweeper, and this is not looking like an easy task for them. Still, this attack is looking strong with the sweeper finally going down, but this NATO yet again is keeping those loons away from that defending core multi. But can this still work on the back end, Woody?
I think they might. Actually, time and again, Paris has been put in an awkward position, and yet he has been able to come through, triumphing after so many assaults on all of his troops all around. They just managed to barely survive each encounter and are reinforced with spells, with healers, with something else to bolster them up. You know, if you watched any single encounter with these troops, you might say, oh, well, that's the end of it. Truck Paris' attack is about to fall apart. He's losing out here. The Eagle is targeting the healers there. And yet he's done it. 18 seconds left, and there's not anything left standing. He's going to finish off the gold storage and will find the 3-star strike. All 4 of those Dragon Riders looking strong at the end. He did it.
Yeah, he did it for sure, and this means this is everything which they have to do at this point. Keep 3-starring and hoping for a mess up at the alternate side at some point. Like, at some point they need to fail, right? At least that's everything what RTK is hoping for. And, well, at the same time, they have to keep 3-starring on their own to make sure that they're having a chance of staying inside this match. So this match is incredible close, but alternate is coming up next so far. They have done an incredible job of pushing their lead further. So let's see if they can keep doing that with their next attack. We had so far, I think, Boom was coming in first. No, Vale was first, then us, and Boom just did 3-star with a Lightning Lalo attack, which means I think we have Yo-Yo left with maybe the last attack. So let's see if he's going to go last or next. Either way, it's going to be exciting to see and what strategy they're going to use. Musk is going in on this legend base of Young Han with the Queen Charge Dragon Rider. So this is going to be interesting.
Yeah, certainly will be. He's also brought a not so familiar face. The bowler is here to get a little bit of splash, maybe targeting one key defense over the walls. No, he's just going to be using it against that army camp over on the left. He's doing some good funneling work early on here, though, and Mask has brought lots of troops in support. 10 minions, a party wizard even. 5 healers going to be backing up this queen most likely once everything gets cleared out along the outer edge. She will be able to target onto the Eagle Artillery nice and early, so that's a great crack at this base, and will get her very, very deep in here. Coconut Loon does grab a Seeking Air Mine as well, and he is cleared for landing, pathing straight through. He gets those healers right on target and will top off the Queen without having to use that ability or anything else early on here. She is finding lots of high-value targets as the Tesla is now popping up, giving her even more Gucci targets. Crushing straight through to the core. Itsu, those super wall breakers have done an amazing job for her pathing.
Yeah, this so far is looking incredible. The Queen has straight pathing into the Town Hall. She only needs to make sure that she's taken down. But there's the Clan Castle coming out as well. Double scatter shot, super minions, everything is on her. So he has to use that Queen ability. But there's so much damage. He has 2 invisibility spells which he can use to provide to keep that Queen alive. The Slammer already activated to make sure that he's spreading out the damage. And there we go. We have the Dragon Rider starting from the right side, but the Queen is still going. There's the invisibility spell, keeping her alive. Nicely done. There's the freeze as well. He's keeping that, or he's trying to keep that Queen alive, but she's running now into the Town of Poison, which might be really bad news for him. But no, instead he's investing that rage for his Dragon Riders, which is really interesting. Like, typically, you always want to keep your Queen alive, but he's not investing that for his Queen. Instead, the Dragon Riders are his choice of empowering them even more. And with that power, they can take down the last air defense with 45 seconds left. This is looking really strong for Musk, and I think Alternate are just keep going perfect so far. And this means I think Yo-Yo has the last attack for Alternate. So let's see if it's going to be 4 times in a row a perfect war for Alternate in the Clash Masters. And this is impressive already in its own. And yeah, Musk just makes things look easy. Like, this Dragon Rider attack was really, really clean executed. Keeping even his Queen alive, I think, or really long alive at least. That was nicely done.
It's just a thing of beauty to see these guys at the top of their game. You know, alternate attacks may be the best clan out there. As the world champion, as one of the top qualified squads for this year as well, it's really a rarity and a pleasure to see a team that is maybe, I don't know, I'm starting to ramble at this point, but alternate attacks might be the best in the world at something, and we're getting to watch them do it here. So hats off to Clash Masters. Really glad to see another opportunity for the best to bring their show to bear here and get a great prize while they do it. So RTK will have one more say, trying to do anything that they can to get that star total up to 14 and maybe eke out a win if alternate attack slips up on their last strike. But I wouldn't count on it, Itsu.
Yeah, it's not an easy situation where they're in, and we now see the attack of Younghan, and he is coming in with the air spam again with the Inferno Dragons and Dragon Riders. They're splitting up quite early, which is typically not what you want to see. Like, you want to have them all clumped up in the beginning, having a really nice warden ability, and this is why he has to invest really early on a lot of spells into this. So this is not an easy thing at all for him to keep all of his troops alive, especially with those multi-inferno towers, and he has no heal spell in this army composition. Now we can see the blimp flying across. Is it catching any black mines? We know with the faster black mines, it is really easily happening that those blimps are not reaching its target, but so far it's just flying across and should get that town out of the way really easily. And now it's all about the heroes. We say it so often, but those heroes on the back end of those dragon attacks, those are the key. And so far, Woody, I see only one expo on the scatter shot staying alive. Maybe the Inferno, otherwise not too many things are actually a big threat to this Royal Champion.
Yeah, this was a really fast attack from Young-hun of RTK. He's only got a Royal Champion and Freeze left to spend, but I think it's going to be enough in the end. The CC finally popping something out here, and it's going to be a rocket loon to try to slow things down here. But I don't think it's going to be enough. Ultimately, cleanup is going to take a while on the outer edge, but Young-hun still has a few more troops left, and there are no more defenses to stop them. There they go. RTK with another triple by Young-hun. That is going to force alternate attacks to go the distance to show us that fourth perfect war from this weekend so far. Can they get it done against any other team? RTK's performance here with 14 stars and a 99.6% average destruction would mean victory. That would be far and above more than you had to do against any other team. But against alternate attacks, it may not be enough. Against a team that puts up perfect wars like they are waking up in the morning and eating breakfast, like it is just breathing air, it may not be enough. Alternate attacks with the final attack of this war, the final attack of the day, the pièce de résistance, the coup de grace. Could it be? 3 more stars will be the only thing that separates them from an opportunity to go on to the semifinals and unseat Space Station Gaming.
This will be so close. I'm looking forward to that. I mean, Yo-Yo is having the last attack, so we're about to see something crazy. I hope some sort of Queen Charge Lalo, Sui Lalo, something like that. At least that's what I'm expecting from him. So let's see if he's doing that and hopefully getting this success. Well, I mean, hopefully he's getting an attack which is enjoyable to watch for us as viewers. So that's what I'm really hoping for. And then seeing if it's going to be enough to take down a really strong RTK. As you said, against pretty much any other team, RTK would have had a really good chance at winning the match. But against Alternate, who put up a perfect port pretty much every single time so far in this ClashMaster qualifier, it is not going to be easy. So, okay, this is going to be crazy, crazy close. And I have to say, I'm already excited for it to see. And yeah, it's not going to be easy at all, especially staying concentrated with like so, though, like I said, Yo-Yo really likes to use Lalo, so it's not like some sort of where you place everything and then you're done. So you really have to be concentrated over the entirety of the attack, which in this situation is not easy at all. So let's see if we can do that. I mean, yes, those guys are experienced all over, but as well, it still can fail sometimes. Let's see.
Right, you are. I mean, I take too big a sip of coffee in the morning and my hands start to get jittery. Imagine what it is like for one of the best players in the world, admittedly, in Yo-Yo 23, but still, every time he has to execute perfectly. He has to do every single little bit of this attack correctly if he wants to give himself the best chance at being able to keep that reputation high. I mean, this is not just like the sort of standard attack where, you know, maybe you get a 3-star, maybe you get a high percentage 2-star. This is to defend their honor, their reputation, the world champions, marching on another possible perfect war opportunity where they need the win in order to get ahead. I'm getting also word from our League Ops team that it is going to be HT Family that alternate attacks will overcome with their victory here. Space Station Gaming may still have a chance to qualify, depending upon how the rest of this shapes up. But what are you noticing here now, Itsu?
Why is that Queen going for the wall? That is looking so strange, and at this point he has to be careful with that defending air defense being outside of that Queen pathing, and it's going to be tricky. He is sending another wall break in to get that Queen out of the compartment again. He's doing everything he can to somehow wreck. The Warden is... Oh, Queen, using the Queen ability. But the Warden is running away, following the Yetis. And this attack is falling apart. This attack is not looking as planned for Yo-Yo. And, oh my... No way. He has to freeze the scatter. He has no wall break to get inside. Wait, he has the Queen. Everything is good. He has the Queen as a wall breaker. Getting inside this compartment, the Warden ability to use... What is going on? This attack is so hard to save.
Absolutely alone.
He followed the Yeti blimp for some weird reason. Like, yeah, it is... Some attacks, you just don't understand the troops sometimes. The Queen going for that wall was the big problem. And at this point, this might be the end of Alternate in the qualifier number 3. He's trying everything to push through. He needs so many more percentage. But so far, the Queen is yet again going for a wall. What is she doing in this attack? That's just crazy.
This is like a David versus Goliath moment that we are witnessing live, Itsu. Alternate attacks, the monster squad. 19 out of 19 hits are triples. And then RTK gets the win. Alternate attacks, the World Championship team has been defeated. RTK will advance to the semifinals, and Alternate are forced back on their heels. What a moment in Clash history to have seen this live in Masters. 14 stars, but that is not enough. RTK must be elated right now. HT Family and Space Station, their qualification on the line, are celebrating, pumping their fists in the air. It is a rare moment that Alternate Attacks doesn't go home victorious, but that moment has come. And for today, the upstart challengers will march on.
Yeah, and as we said before the match, this match was super important for Alternate to get into the top 4, which means they are now out of the top 4 for the first 3 qualifiers, which means they have to go into the last chance qualifier. They have to try it all over again over there, I believe. So that is just crazy, seeing them perfect war after perfect war after perfect war, and then going down to a really incredible strong RTK. That is crazy to believe, but yeah, I mean, the Queen made it possible right there, going for that interesting wall. Yeah, I think my tablet would be somewhere else at this point if I would be Yo-Yo. So really unfortunate. Yeah, that was a surprising start to the attack. He did everything he could to save it, but it was not enough against this strong performance, you have to say, from RTK winning this matchup.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. I'm almost left speechless, which is not a great position to be in when you're trying to host and commentate an event. But I guess Alternate Attacks, despite having 19 triples out of their 20 attacks this weekend, will be missing their chance to move on. And I guess it was maybe... I mean, you can't blame their offense coming out with 4 triples and percentage, 97%. I wonder if they just didn't choose to commit their best bases up against RTK. Maybe they were trying to hold on to an ace up their sleeve for later rounds, but any given Sunday is a phrase we have here in America. Any team can win if you give them a fair shot. And in this case, RTK had their shot. They took it, and they were well rewarded for it.
Yeah, and with this match over, I think we should take a look at the bracket and how things are looking like, because we have just day number 2 of the third qualifier. Today we had incredible matches. Sky Stars, yeah, getting defeated by VN champions. We had Queen Walkers winning against HD Family. Nishang Dance taking the victory in an incredible close match against KOG. And we just saw what happened in the RTK versus alternate matchup, which means this is going to be the matches which we're going to see tomorrow. But VN champions versus Queen Walkers, Nishang Dance versus RTK are going to be the matches for tomorrow. Tomorrow we are going to see all of the remaining matches. Now let's take a look at the leaderboards for now as well. How are things standing? What is our top 4 looking like? And this is what it's looking like. Nishang Dance on number 1. They're still in it, which means they could still increase their points. Queen Walkers is still in it as well on seat number 2. Space Station not in this one either. The same way around with HD Family, so both of them are going to stay pretty much the same, because if we take a look at the remaining top 8, alternate out of this competition. MCS not in this qualifier. KOG, yeah, they got knocked out as well. So Benzinger as well. Yeah. So yeah, at this point, this is most likely our top 4. Still, number 1 and number 2 seed could change depending on the performance tomorrow. So that one is something which you don't want to miss, Woody.
Absolutely not. And given how the story has unfolded today, you are watching Clash history in the making here in the Masters event. We also do have to remind you all that the seeding for the last chance qualifier will be based upon the ranking on the leaderboard here. So even though Alternate Attacks is not advancing on, they will be the top team by ranking that did not advance. And so the 4 teams for the playoffs have been decided, but their position is not cemented. That will take place tomorrow, where we've got our prize money to hand out. We hope that you all will tune in once again to watch Clash Masters tomorrow. And also be sure to go check out our social media pages, Twitter and Instagram. We've got a great swag bag prize to give away with some awesome Clash gear, and we hope that you will participate in that. But I think that's going to be just about it for today. Isu, do you have any final thoughts before we close this thing up?
Not really, except like we saw incredible matches today. I cannot wait for tomorrow, because those matches are going to be crazy as well to watch, with so many creative teams in there, especially obviously fan favorites, Queen Walkers in there as well. So this should be amazing. So you don't want to miss that. So make sure to tune in over there again. And we will see you back tomorrow for the next and last day of the third qualifier for Clash Masters. So see you then, until then, and we're going to see you tomorrow.